Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 520th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I am Dylan Muss. I gotta change that. I'm the Clown Prince of Podcast, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by.
I loved your question mark you had at the end of that.
I am Dylan Muss. Yeah.
I am Hammerhand, Kirkland Patzer.
I am the Dill Dog, Taylor Field.
Oh, right, Hammer. Shout out to Dill Dog. You know, Dylan said he'd listen, so this will be the true test if he actually did listen, because he's about to. Because what have we got coming up? Yeah, he's about to go on a trip. Yeah, so like hit him with Dill Dog. We'll hit him with
chills.
So that's all good. Which also, you guys have to decide between you and Taylor or Kirkland and Taylor. One of you guys are editing this because I edited news last week. So have fun. Figure that out in the private chat.
I think I'll do it. I'll do it, Kirkland. I think you did the one before Travis.
I will allow it.
Kirkland's like,
Just as sure as a rock is covered in chills already.
As soon as you said that, I was just like, oh
yeah. Kirkland was
You
like,
can feel the mana. You can feel the mana.
but then
that it goes to your Twitter timeline after. I love that.
Yeah, I know. I gotta edit that one. But then, you know, when Madison's like, "Oh, you ready to come to bed?" Taylor's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to edit," and then she.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Only the best, you know. But then
How many takes do you think it took for like The Rock to do those?
those were one takers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, you know, Taylor's gonna kick down the door, be butt ass naked, staring in the doorway, light on, and just. All right, that was the last one. That's
Too much.
Oh no, I saw it and I haven't hit it for a while. Oh, do we have that one in there yet? No, the one I want to add is Creed's Higher. I haven't added that one in there yet, but I want that in there.
I'll be abusing that one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So yes, we are Dylan-less. Kirkland will be away for a little bit, not too long, but away for a little bit. So you've not seen Acolyte, right? So you're watching them playing?
No, I have not yet.
Okay, I was going to get your many thoughts, but
next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll never love Star Wars ever again. So it
not.
has been debated. I'll say that. It has been debated. I don't think correctly, but you can check out our Discord. Chat's been popping off there. That's one thing definitely we had over, Kirkland, last time we had over 100 people watching us live. So it's been, it's definitely controversial, which is always fun to talk about. As long as we said you're a cool person and not an asshole about it, we're always down for debate and different opinions. So, and luckily in their chat, you know, there's a couple times people were getting a little feisty, but then they would come back and say, oh no, I meant this. I was like, okay, that's good. You know, Tara's worried. Anytime I call someone by the chat name, I'm like, oh, you, Eddie. And then I just see Taylor's look like, oh no, what's he gonna do? But kept it civil, right?
Very civil.
Yeah.
Oh, like during the cast, it was getting heated. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it could have
Travis
been
picking fights with all the.
Yeah,
it could have
throwing
been
fisticuffs with the chat.
I was ready, you know. So, but yeah, lots of good stuff coming. Acolyte, check out that review. We have The Boys is dropping. It's gonna be dropping Friday. Me and Taylor, right? We're recording that review tomorrow, right? Because you're seeing Inside Out Friday. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's the plan tomorrow.
Yeah. So that'll be fun when we were watching the first 3 episodes. For people that are listening to us, it's gonna be probably already out because I guess they're dropping them at midnight now. I don't really know why. That's weird. We're not doing no midnight review. We're not staying up for till 3 a.m. to watch The Boys. Love The Boys, but I'll kick that to the morning. And then we have House of Dragon this week, and that'll be me and Taylor holding down the debut. So we'll get Kirkland's thoughts on Acolyte and House of Dragon, a lot of things when you get back. So you'll be doing a lot of catch up when you get back that week.
Be like
Love
this, catching up
catch-up.
on everything, Kirkland.
Oh yeah,
Great.
just smiling at you guys. It's like come back from Manitoba.
Oh my god, yeah. Did you worry you were gonna look like that when you were sick there in the springtime, you know, or in the early winter? Did you just see Viserys and go, man, that could be me?
I don't think I ever thought that at any
Good.
point, no matter how sick I've been.
Okay.
And hopefully I don't ever look like that to the end of my days. Because
To
he
the end
looks
of your days.
terrible. His
He
skin
does
is
look
falling
terrible.
off.
Yeah, but does he look happy though? That's the thing.
Oh, fine,
My
boys,
my
playing around.
boys, yeah. Looking at my
Yeah.
grandchildren just beating the shit out of each other, just smiling like that.
Yeah, missing all the context of what's going on, you know? So, yeah, just popping off lots of good stuff. And check out SideQuest. We just broke down Xbox Game Showcase, whatever, Summer Games Fest, the Ubisoft Forward, lot of stuff. That was about 3.5 hours of casting, so we up there to the wee hours. But check that out, good breakdown. So it's been a fun weekend here. But as usual, Geek First, we got some other stuff to plug, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We always start with the what you've been watching section, and I'm gonna throw to the question first because it kind of has to do with what me and Kirkland have been watching, which we will talk about. But Clay wanted to ask because he saw my letterbox, which we'll talk about what me and Kirkland saw this week, which we already talked about last week, which we thought we'd be seeing. But he asked, is there any movie anniversaries with showings that you guys think that you've been wanting to see? And if there can't be anyone, you could probably stretch the question to, luckily Kirkland gave me one, but I was like, I don't know, I'm not great with anniversaries. Because I feel like they just kind of pop up, like even, the thing we're going to talk about being a 20-year anniversary, it's like, man, that I didn't even think about it till it happens, right? But Kirk, what about you? Is there a movie that has an anniversary? If not, a movie that you just want to cross off the list that you haven't seen the big screen that you've been itching? Because obviously you got to do that this past week.
Yeah.
But anything else?
I got my bucket list trilogy this weekend. But I don't know. I was mentioning this to Travis off air.
No, we don't talk.
I wasn't sure what was coming out in like theaters for the anniversaries, and of course it's always theater dependent. We don't always get so lucky for those anniversary ones, but apparently Fight Club has its 25th year anniversary, which I think that would be a really great one to see in theaters.
It was. I saw that earlier this year because they did at Bernie's, so that was a bucket list one for me. I was very excited to see, so I would recommend it in the theaters. Great time.
Yeah, there's a couple other. Eyes Wide Shut. Apparently he's turning 25 this year as well. That's always a classic. Maybe I'll invite my Christmas crew.
Oh, Shay, definitely. You got to take her. Yeah.
What else? Apparently the original Mean Girls is turning 20. That one I think kind of already had its run. I thought I had seen it pop up somewhere. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm just thinking of the actual new Mean Girls. And I don't think I heard any positive.
Is that one you need to see in the theater?
I think that one would be one Shay would definitely be down to go see because she really loves that first film, and it's just a really great film. It's just really fun to watch. So I think that would be a fun pairing for her and I to go see. But nothing really crazy is popping off. I guess Nightmare on Elm Street turns 40 in November. So if that comes around, I could actually see myself going to see that one. First time I ever saw it was with my dad and my sister. So my sister doesn't live here, so maybe just me and my dad will go.
Yeah. Taylor and I did that during the COVID era. They had that going on, so it was a good time. Yeah. I can't remember. Taylor had kind of lied. He had said I'm not really a big Nightmare on Elm Street guy. Really, just saying he had seen the remake and Jason versus Freddy. And then when we saw Nightmare on Elm Street, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a really good movie." And then I
didn't lie. I watched those two Nightmare movies. It's I'm not really big on them.
Okay, you watched the remake, which everyone considers probably the worst one, and then Jason versus Freddy, where you're already biased because you love the Jason movies. So fuck this Freddy guy. So you didn't really see a true original with Robert Englund Nightmare. And then the first time you did see one, you're like, oh, I'm more interested in the series now. I should watch the rest of them.
That's good.
I know,
right? Taylor's statement's still true.
No, but it was it was like the San Jose Shark thing, where it was okay, he was just not a big fan, but he made it sound like he had always seen a lot of them, and then when we saw the movie, revealed he had never even seen the original. So I thought, well, this is a bunch of BS.
I am not a big Saw fan, but I've only seen the first Saw, and I thought it was an alright movie.
But that's fine because you saw what people would say is the best one, where he saw what people said is the worst one. If I were to show
I'm not talking to people. I didn't know people were saying it was the worst one.
If I were to say, hey, let's say you did not see any MCU, and I sat you down and be like, hey, I'm about to show you Eternals. You'd be like, man, the MCU fucking sucks. For your perspective. I'm not saying people think that about the Eternals in general. Dill Dog, who's not here, loves the Eternals, right? But I'm saying he started with the worst one, if not
I didn't have anyone to guide me. If I knew you back then, it'd be a totally different situation.
Well, what year was this? Did you see the remake? Because we met in
when
it was before.
I guess, yeah.
It was before I came to
2010.
Kelowna.
2010, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a life before I met you guys.
Just to be that guy.
No, you landed here. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't listen to S Bubs. Clearly, Kirkland hasn't seen Saw 3. No, that's
a good one to jump into.
No, you're in a group, S Bubs, where you overrate that movie. Fucking Jeff, get the hell out of here with Jeff. Saw 4 did what that character deserved. Killed him off in fucking 13 seconds. It's beautiful, beautiful. They Venom No Way Home end credited this character, but
wow, it's quite the fate.
Still a good movie, but not top tier, I guess.
Saw
about to say.
3.
So
What's your least favorite Saw movie? Is there like an obvious one? It sounds like not.
It's kind of like
You're
a tie.
digging.
I think I probably still give it to Saw 3D, which was the last of the original series. Really bad, just even to the extent of the blood is pink in the movie a lot because they didn't account for the 3D conversion, like what it would look like. Not so it looks terrible. So yeah, I'd go with that one. There's some of the ones they did after that were like the connected to Saw but not Saw that were but Saw 3D for sure is it's more just like a mega disappointment, and that's definitely one that I like I said, you saw the first one as like a wee lad, right? I feel like you watch nowadays, you might enjoy it a bit more, you know. So,
I'm sure. I think the psychological ism of it is interesting enough, and just what you guys have laid, like at least you've told me, Travis, of just like how people got there and intertwined.
Oh yeah, the lore gets crazy.
I think that's interesting enough. It's just the actual what's going on. I need like a censored Saw movie, I think.
That's fair.
It just goes like blurry. Any grossness.
You need like back in the day before, you know, when I was a youngin', and now I support people and everything because I know what it's like to be director, make projects. But when me and Emily watched the first 50 Shades of Grey, it was just streamed somewhere. But we got a copy where all the sex scenes were taken out. So they would start, and then Dakota Johnson's like starting the moment, and then they would cut and they'd be finished. And at first, we're like, oh, that's like
at what point
choice.
are they finished? Is it like right at the?
It's like right. They're putting on clothes and everything like that.
Okay.
So you're like, at first, you're like, okay, this is like maybe an artistic choice. And then when they get into this stuff later on, it's gonna be hot and heavy. But then, by the time me and Emily got to like the second act, we realized, oh, this is a completely edited down
music
version.
starts playing more like some like seductive music. And they just like hard cut.
Like they got to the red room and nothing happened, and then we're like, well, this is the most lamest like sexy movie of all time. Now the actual movie to me is still not that sexy. There's like, it's like to me like, I don't know. It's the like your mom's version of like, oh my god, I saw this racy movie. It's
Madison's doing her watch through that right now.
Sorry for you, but like that's where it's just like, you know, tell Madison to watch Shame and then come back talk. Tell her to watch Nymphomaniac and then tell her to come back to us. The 50 Shades is like baby's first sexy movie. You know, they're not sexy movies at all. So, but I had that experience, so maybe we should find one with the Saw where just like they cut the traps and you just move past the plot.
That would be
point.
nice. It'd probably be really short too. I could probably binge the whole series.
Probably
in,
an
like,
hour
a
each
day.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terry, you gonna say something? I heard you breathing.
you got good ears on you. I was gonna say, did Kyle ever say anything about his Christmas gift? Did he like that?
No, we should ask him next time he's on After 9 because he got 50 Shades, the first one as a
50
Christmas
Shades.
gift. Yeah,
That's
see
right.
him and Sasha.
A couple other things too with that, just set the tone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hopefully it was a good Christmas for him. Or Sasha's like, your friends are fucking weird. I hate Canadians, you know? So we should have asked him.
She came camping, so at least, she doesn't disown
Yeah.
us.
We'll ask her next camping over the fire. But then now, in the way before I get to Taylor, what did you see, Kirkland, this weekend that prompted? I'm probably gonna leave Taylor last because then I can bounce off.
Yes.
I can bounce off Kirkland's thoughts.
I had a magical weekend, and Travis Snell was involved with it,
I was,
along with
yep.
some members of his family. And
Yep.
that magic was the Lord of the Rings extended edition in theaters, which was it was so fantastic. I must say, like, it was just such a jolly good time. I had never seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies in theaters before, let alone the extended editions. And I must say, it just, like, I've seen those movies so many times. That's definitely my favorite trilogy. I love the world that Tolkien's created with Lord of the Rings and just that universe in general. And to actually see it on theaters, like this movie that I've seen like probably close to 100 times, just the way that the score would come in, and it's like the Cause of Doom sequence in the first movie, like I just felt like I don't have it ready to go, but fucking The Rock chills everywhere in those moments. And like each movie had so many of those moments for me where I think I was shedding tears dripping down the cheeks for every single movie at different moments. I was laughing out loud. I felt like our overall theater was actually like really good group. Like there wasn't anyone like obnoxious. Travis, you had mentioned this where it's like a lot of like the memes, like a lot of jokes, or sorry, a lot of laughter was coming out of like just those common memes, whether it was Elrond in the first movie or the potatoes moment later on. So I was kind of worried that there was going to be just some like obnoxious individuals. I don't know why. I was just maybe so excited for that viewing experience. I didn't want it to be ruined by like someone behind me that's just kicking my seat. That was Travis, but no, he wasn't kicking, and he wasn't obnoxious. He was. So overall, like the theater going experience was really great. I felt like a 6 p.m. start on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those were the days, and they were all at 6 p.m. I feel like that was an appropriate time to start it.
I could use 5 for Return of the King. I wouldn't have hated 5 because it's that 4.5 hour one. So it's but it's fine. I still think 6 was like the max to me. Anything else would have been a bit too much.
Absolutely, especially for the Return of the King. But
Yes.
It was just like, I don't even know. It was like I was going to a festival where it's like you have day one and then you go home, you recover, and it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing later. Like going back to that same theater, going back to Middle Earth, and it was so great. I had such a great time. It completely blew me away, and highly recommend to anyone out there if you get the chance and you are a Lord of the Rings fan. Because if you're not a Lord of the Rings fan, maybe don't subject yourself to 4 hours of. And this is, I think, last time I've gone through the trilogy, I did it all in one sitting. So this actually was very nice to kind of spread it over 3 days. And the movies felt really fast for each day. Even Return of the King, I felt like it actually was going really, really quickly. Probably just speaks to the quality of how that movie was made and just the pacing and whatnot. And although I will admit, the third day I was getting a little... at the end of Two Towers, I felt like I felt it in my butt the most of just like sitting in that one spot. And I think I'm tapped out on popcorn for a while. I think
too.
I've had my
Were you
last
doing
turnover.
popcorn every one?
Every fucking day, Taylor.
That's disgusting.
I thought we talked about the third one not getting popcorn, and
I know.
didn't
And
get
then
it, but
I was
saw
weak.
you. I saw
I was weak
Cameron.
like Gollum, and I just got a medium. I'm like, I'll just get a medium.
Yeah,
And then,
Even
my
Gwen
guts
tapped on the
were
third day
hurting.
because I was like, I was telling this to Kirkland and Cameron, right? Is his name Cameron? Or was it
Carson.
wrong? Carson. See, I knew it was wrong. Cameron didn't
The
sound
homie
right. but-
Carson came.
Yeah.
You
So,
call
like-
him that? Hey, Cameron, good to see you again.
yeah, he fucking hates me now. No,
Fuck's
because
that guy? That's what he said to me.
I was telling this to those two of like, I went to go on the third day or Return of the King. I'm like, we don't gotta get popcorn in it, right? She's like, oh no, I don't. I'm kind of done. I was like, oh, thank God, because like with the kids, it's always, oh, we go to the movies, get popcorn. So like, she wants to get, we'll get. We got different snacks. Like, we got Skittles and stuff, but I was like, I just really don't want popcorn. And the first day wasn't as bad because that was when we all went. It was me, Emily, Ellie, Logan, and Gwen. So I got popcorn, but it's like you're sharing amongst everybody, so don't eat a bunch of it. But yeah, so as Kirkland said, the movies we lost some in the Fellowship. Emily, Logan, and Ellie stayed home for Two Towers and Return of the King. Logan was enjoying it, but I think she still just likes it at home. She was good, but she was like, after she's like, yeah, there's some scary parts. And I was like, okay, you held it pretty well. It was the Balrog that got her the most, I guess. And they didn't jump at all. The only time Gwen jumped in the theaters is when Shelob stuns Frodo. When it does that thing where Shelob comes into screen and then goes back up and then down hits the sab, she jumped. But the other time she didn't. Like the Bilbo thing didn't get them or anything. So and then Ellie, it was just Ellie was just like a little too long. She's still just 3, so it's like that was like it was a bold move by us, but she was pretty good for most of it, and she was locked in until they got to Rivendell, and then because there's just lots talking, that's when we lost the 3-year-old, because the whole time she's sitting there, she'll like talk to me a little bit, but like I just tell her to be quiet and she's good. But once Rivendell, they're talking about the ring, it's like, oh man, 20-minute conversation scene, it's over it. So, and then near the end she's kind of like, is it almost over, and stirring, so we're like, it's probably best like me and Gwen just go. And it was a great time. I hadn't seen them since I saw them originally. I know there's been other re-releases, but I just haven't had the time. Never seen the extended cuts. They're good for the most part, I think, because also we talked about even the reviews back in the day, the retros, which go check out if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. We reviewed everything. We reviewed the Hobbits, we reviewed the animated movies, the films. We're gonna do Rings of Power, but there's some of the extended scenes that are like not as touched up as like the original stuff, you can tell. And on the big screen, I feel like when it's blown up, like you can tell like a little bit more of, this scene didn't get like the full kid and caboodle with the budget, which is fine, but there's some stuff where it looks very, and there's even some things that I didn't know, but people pointed out like they took a lot of the film grain, because I guess I didn't know this. Peter Jackson has some George Lucas isms where he's very obsessed with, he doesn't want these movies to look old, so he's kind of edited them a little bit here and there. And then so I heard them the first night, and the second night I was like, oh, I could see that. But for the most part, yeah, it was great. It was just, there's so many moments. It's definitely the music. Like having it on the big screen is great, but just even the sound effects, especially Helm's Deep, everything, like when they light the beacons, the sound effects are just, they were prime. So it was great. I said it to you, I wish they would do that every year because it is a big venture, but that's how I would watch them. I wouldn't watch them home. I would go to theaters every year and watch them that way. Because there is a nice thing I do like about winter at your home, you're cozy up, but they deserve that experience. And they did really well. Like I think on the Monday Return the King, if it wasn't for Bad Boys, like it would have been the number one film that weekend. So they did very good. So I hope that's more often. And no, it was great seeing, especially the extended cut, things that I had never seen on the big screen. So yeah, like Kirkland said, I absolutely recommend it. And for anniversaries, Kirkland gave me this answer. It would be Pulp Fiction because my top, I don't know where they are, but on Letterboxd I have like my 4, the ranked, everyone has your favorites. I got Dark Knight, which I saw multiple times, which sorry to S-Bubs. When I saw the Dark Knight in theaters, the guy next to me quoted literally every single line from the Joker to his friends next to him the whole movie.
That's what I was worried about. That type of
yes.
ism is what I was expecting in the Lord of the Rings theater, but I'm very glad we didn't get that.
So I did that a little bit, but the difference was when me and Emily saw then COVID, it was the best. It's still my favorite going experience. We got to see the Dark Knight in a theater just to ourselves. So I did that like sometimes jokingly, but it was just like us at home hanging out, but we were in the theaters watching a big screen. That's a top 5 experience. Because getting to watch the Dark Knight alone with Emily, it's like, man, this is like, can't get any better. So, but on the top 4, I saw Fight Club this year. So I got to, because that's one when I was small, a kid. I wasn't going to see Fight Club back then. Another one, which is in the realm, which Kirkland said the anniversary is coming up, is Pulp Fiction. So that would be my answer, because my Letterboxd, my top 4 are The Dark Knight, Fight Club, Fellowship, and then Pulp Fiction. At times it's been the Batman, but I've put in the Fellowship over the Batman because the Batman I need to have more time, which Maddie, I think you have in your top 4. Completely get it. I'm still like every day it's a struggle with me, the Batman versus the Dark Knight. I hate it, but I still like lean towards the Dark Knight because I feel like it's like a better movie per se, and I just can't put in the top 4 yet. But so I've seen, and all my top 10 movies, the only ones I guess I haven't seen are like The Departed and No Country for Old Men. I'd like to see those, but it's not those like I have to see. I'd like to, but Pulp Fiction is one I really like to see. So I hope I can get that. I think that could happen at Bernie's soon, but that's what's on my limit. So
if No Country for Old Men pops off at Bernie's, I'd go see that with you. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, I don't want to see it with you. I want to see it alone. I can rent out the theater, and no, that would be a good one. That'd be a great one.
Gosh, where do I start? My most wanted.
Well, what have you been watching?
Oh yeah, what have I been watching?
Before you go to the only other thing that I watched this week, if you're in the Discord, you know why I'm rewatching some horror comedy movies. Right now, I'm rewatching the Happy Death Day movies. So I watched the first one. I'm in the middle of the second one. I really enjoy those, especially the second one. I was surprised because I didn't remember much about it. So I was like, oh, was this maybe not as good? And so far I'm halfway through. I'm like, oh no, I really enjoy this. So I think her name's Jessica Roth or Ruth Roth. Like it's Rothe, or there's something, a different spelling. But like, man, that girl from Happy Death Day, I do not understand. She was in that Boy Kills World. I still understand why she's not like a big star. She can do so much in those movies. It's ridiculous. Like she has so much good range in there. Her comedic timing is like off the chart. So I watched those. I'm enjoying those. And then I watched You're Next for the first time since it came out. You guys ever seen You're Next?
That sounds very
Long
familiar.
time ago.
Yeah, so it's like a home invasion.
Masks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a home invasion movie, and obviously we're working on something that I was like, I want some. That's why I put in the Discord. Like, want some inspiration. So it was a movie that came out. I think it was like 2011 or something. And I remember in the festivals it got really praised, and a few of my friends that had seen it that was more horror based really enjoyed it. So I had like got it hyped up for me, and when I saw it, I thought, it's fine. So I thought so many years later, like 10 plus years later, at least, I was like, maybe I will enjoy this more. And I just didn't. It was about the same. And I don't think it's a bad movie. I could see why people like it, but there, S-Bubs is with me. I'm an Adam Wingard fan, but You're Next overrated. I completely agree. I like Adam Wingard. The guest is fucking amazing. Like the guest is top tier. Dan Stevens, the girl from Long Legs, and It Follows. I can't remember. She has that name. It's like Maylee Mononco or something. I can't remember. I'll have to learn it for the Long Legs review. But so I tried this, and it still was not. It's still just so much in the middle of like, sometimes it's very serious, sometimes it's kind of comedic. It can't really find a path. And what I put in my letterbox, because I was trying to put this in a way not to be negative, but the way I describe it is, which I still, when I pulled the letterbox, saw Kirkland's score, was horrified. His 3.5 score on Ready or Not, terrible. But to me, You're Next is like no, I'm not even gonna get rid of you yet. But to me, like Your Next is like the lesser version. Like Ready or Not became like what the great movie of that one could be. So yeah, that's been pretty much it. And then I'm rewatching House of the Dragon because that's coming up. So I'm on episode 4, and that's been a good time. So, and we don't need to. Oh, thank you very much, Julia. Her name is where did I put an L in there? Micah Monroe. Am I saying that or Micah? Well, how am I saying it? How would you guys say the first name?
Micah.
I don't know. Is it Micah?
Micah Monroe.
Maika.
Maika? That's what you think it is?
I think it's a little saucier than just Micah.
Okay. But anyways, so yeah, she's great. She's like a great scream queen in this generation. So watch The Guest. But yeah, so I've been doing a little research for maybe some of our next projects and some we've been talking about filming. So that's been my week. Kirkham, was there anything else other than Lord of the Rings you want to shout out before we went to Taylor that you watched?
No, that's it.
There you go.
That's it. I got some catching up to do on my plane ride, so next time I'm on here, I'll fill you in.
And none of us have watched Hitman, I guess, eh?
Is that out on Netflix?
And last week it came out.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the terrible situation that I have to wait till Emily, and it's dance week, and then the week after we're camping with my family, and she goes to bed early for reasons. Go check out the Patreon episode. So like, I'm just because she found like. I swear I pitched her Challengers, and she thought she didn't want to watch it, but she didn't seem like that enthused. So I watched it without her, and I was listening to the score, and she's like, "Oh, did you watch it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, you watched it without me?" So it was that thing like, "Oh God, here we go." So it's like, so I asked him like, because she's a big Glenn Powell fan, that's like her big man crush. So I'm like, "Hey, do you want me to wait?" And she's like, "Yeah, absolutely." It's like, "Okay, I'll wait." And then every time we like have time to watch, like something's happening or this, so it's like I really want to watch it. I was really not scared, but I was shocked by Clay's score, our Patreon Clay, because I was Clay. I feel bad for you because I've been there before. Like I don't think Fall Guy was that for me, but I've been there where it's like you're so excited, and then like man, it comes out it's disappointing. But I hope to see it this weekend. But I've heard mostly good things. But yeah, Kirkland, you haven't seen it, and Taylor, have you gone around and seen it?
No, honestly, I didn't realize it was dropping on streaming. I saw it was in theaters, so I
It was
thought it was
limited.
I saw the
yeah.
poster. At
No,
the
it's in
theater.
theaters this weekend.
No, I know, but it's like one screening a day. That's what they do.
Oh yeah.
No, it's been in theaters for like a whole week. So what? It was weird when we saw. What was the last big movie we saw? And we were Furiosa.
Knives Out.
No,
oh yeah. What? I was thinking like last big Netflix, Netflix to. I thought you were going Netflix to theater
5 years
release.
ago, Taylor.
We reviewed No Way Home. We reviewed Dune Part 2. Knives Out. That was our last biggest review, guys. I gotta check out the numbers. But what was I gonna say? Fuck, I'm lost. What were we talking about?
Furiosa.
Oh, so
What am I doing here?
What the fuck am I doing here? We had one screening during Furiosa, and then for days after there was no screening, and they brought it back. So that's why I didn't make a plan, because I would have saw it in theaters, but I was like, oh, it's only in Furiosa. I got to be there for the review, and then it went back in the theaters randomly. So I misjudged it. But that is sometimes the issue with streaming, right? Is it just comes out, you don't even know, the promotion's terrible. Only I'm saying Bay Reindeers, it's 8th week in a row now, 10th most watched English show in Netflix history. Well, yeah, they're gonna have to pay that Martha stalker, so they gotta make that money because they're getting sued big time. So that'll be something. So, I don't want to read that SBub. I hear something about that scene, but yeah, anything else?
Said he's a big Adam Wingard fan. I was checking out his.
I don't think of the recent stuff, but.
Saw Death Note on there. I was curious if he's a big Death Note fan.
I suppose I guarantee I've seen Death Note. I was gonna say I said I'm an Adam Wingard fan, but I take that back because sometimes I confuse him with Michael Dougherty, who directed Trick or Treat. But I stand by he did The Guest, and The Guest is fucking awesome, so good. Dan Stevens is a charismatic
a
motherfucker.
thriller?
Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's a guy. Micah Monroe, she's a daughter to these parents. Their son passed away in the war, died in the war, and like his war buddy comes back and he needs a place to stay, but something is not right with said war buddy, and it's like just a slew of things happen, and it's really good, really fun third act. So and that's where I'd seen Dan Stevens in Legion, but this is where it's like, oh, he has range, and that I think after Legion is probably his best role. He's really good. So I'd highly recommend The Guest to anybody that hasn't seen it. I think it's only like an hour and a half, but oh my God. S-Bubs, I like Death Note. It's very wild. Oh man, that's a hot take right there. That movie's...
S-Bubs, He
That-
says he's never
ooh.
seen the anime or read the manga, so got mad about him ruining the source material.
I never did, and I could
Or
see
not
S
mad,
Bubs.
sorry.
That was a fucking atrocious movie.
I've seen the
you know?
anime, so that maybe was my issue.
Nice, Julio. Got on Blu-ray. Yeah. So Taylor, you didn't see. Oh, sorry, Kirkland. You're still going. We're all
Well,
over.
no, I was just interested because you mentioned the favorites thing on Letterboxd, and I was curious if I had added one. God, the way you drink water out of that water.
Jesus,
Audio
what the
listeners,
fuck?
he is DPing that thing all the way down his
I
gullet.
put my lips around the whole like cap, but I don't. Yeah, I don't
Do you?
down it.
No one's
through my
gonna take it
throat.
now. No one's gonna take it. I want lots of water. You know, got to fill the
I guess
holes.
so. That's just like maximum backwash. I feel like you're achieving in that.
No, I
But,
swallow it all. I got a big throat.
I'm sure you.
I don't got a small
just
mouth
a
like
big
you,
sucker,
Kirkland.
a big sucker on that thing, just a
Yeah.
vacuum. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, the favorites on Letterboxd, and I did have favorites on
Do
here.
you mean the
My,
favorites or the watch? What are you talking
like
about?
the favorites? Because you were mentioning like you can have.
Oh,
like,
the
your
four. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
And
have.
you've never done that?
Well, I did apparently. So mine
Oh.
is Into the Spider-Verse, The Dark
Okay.
Knight,
Okay.
Sicario, just the first
Oh,
Sicario movie.
I like that, yeah.
And Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay. Do you think that list is still?
I think
apropos?
so. I think
Okay.
that's a very like. There's probably more on my overall like favorites list, but
Yeah.
I put
'Cause
those on there for a reason. And,
Okay.
yeah.
My four slot has changed because I think it was like I think when I started I had the No Country Old Men Are Departed, and then when the Batman came out I did change it to the Batman, and then after a while I was like no, like I got as much as I love the Batman, Fellowship belongs up. I think it's just like there's just one year I just watched it,
Respect.
just like the craftsmanship of Fellowship is just so good. And as people check out the retro, that's my favorite of the trilogy. I think that's the best one. So it's just like this is just like movie match. Same thing when we watch this weekend, just movie magic on the huge screen.
Yeah.
Like that is a art form higher than anybody else. So I think it's always that fourth one that's gonna probably change. But Dark Knight, Pulp Fiction, Fight Club are always like that's the Trinity. Those are always like confidently locked, you know.
Yeah.
So
Taylor, do you have a 4? I'm curious.
I do have a 4.
let's see if we can guess. I know Jurassic Park's on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is one of the avatars on there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to believe Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
No, that's
is
not
on there.
Oh yeah, it's not on there. Yeah. Oh, is like Starship Troopers on there?
That's a good guess, but it's not.
It's something like
Bionicle Golden Mask or whatever that one's
No.
called. Okay.
There's some deep pulls, but
that. Rogue One.
you're on the right track. But no,
Yeah, something's. Is it New Empire or is it Empire Strikes Back?
that's the third one. on
Really?
there, yeah.
Okay, so we're down. We got Jurassic Park.
This is all you. Don't give me credit.
Avatar.
I haven't got a single one right.
You've been
I
throwing
like
out
your
wrong
picks,
ones.
Kirkland.
Avatar, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, and I feel like the fourth one's gonna be something too personal. I won't get.
Like
So-
the Goon or something. Some like off.
Scary
kilter.
Movie 2.
Yeah.
White Chicks. What is your fourth? I won't get it. I don't think.
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I should've-
Two
I guess
Star Wars
I wouldn't have got that
movies,
because the
okay.
two Star Wars too. I think
Yeah.
that was
I know.
So that's
I
fair,
might
that's
have to
fair.
change that and put something else in there. But
Which one would you
They're both
want?
Mask of
so
Light.
good.
He's going Mask of Light. He's
Mask
got
of
it.
Light, fucking so good. I don't know which one I'd bump. Like those two just go back and forth for me. I love them so much.
So I feel like it's got to be Rogue One in my opinion. I feel like you like Sith too much. You like the Jedi's. The
No, I
Council.
probably I love Rogue One, but I don't know if I'd put it in there because like these
That's,
like
that's what I said.
that I wouldn't put Rogue One in there.
That you'd bump Rogue One. What's the
Rogue One's
confusion?
not on my list.
Oh, it's Empire. Sorry. You'd bump Empire over Revenge of the Sith, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're right with that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misspoke. I feel like, what do you mean you're
Like,
correcting me?
what?
Yeah, I just feel like Sith that's your jam and lots of
It
stuff
is
you
my
like.
jam.
Like those clones.
501st.
You're really gonna
Fucking
bump the movie with
love
the clones? Yeah.
Oh.
So Taylor, what is an anniversary movie you'd like to see? And then shout anything else you've been watching a little bit here.
So I got 5 anniversary films here that I'd really love to see on the big screen. Now you said already
Jesus
earlier,
Christ.
Starship Troopers. I'd love to see Starship
yeah.
Troopers the big screen. Man, their
That-
first drop
yeah,
on the
good pick.
Clendathu drop in the theater. Oh my god, I would die happy. Revenge of the Sith is another one. I saw that in theaters when I was very
Right.
little, but I'd love to see that again.
You're pissed every time they put Phantom Menace back in the theater. You're
It's
always
the second
pissing on
time
the
they put
theater.
Phantom Menace. They did the 3D release, then they did the anniversary release just this year. So I want Attack of the Clones just because I want to see that. And then I really want Revenge of the Sith again. I don't remember seeing it as a kid, aside from seeing people cosplay. I remember seeing Ayla Sakura cosplay. and all that, but I want to see it again. Signs, I really want to feel that movie in the big screen. I want to get spooked because that's one of the, like, my number one like freaky horror movies that just has scarred me as a kid.
When's that anniversary coming up?
Let's see.
Oh, okay. So you're just
Can't
saying any
remember.
anniversary. I thought you had five that you had looked at like anniversary size, but
2002, so we missed the 20 year, but maybe the 25 year.
yeah, I don't. Maybe there's always a chance. I'll give it 20. If it doesn't happen 25 year, I don't think it's happening.
I just don't
At the
think they would do that movie anyway.
I think also because the Mel Gibson thing's kind of like I think some people have like gone over, but it's still not like a. He's not the still most marketable person, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Underworld. Fuck, I would love to see that on the big screen. That would be
The DP, get the DP going and
Well,
That's
that's
the second
two.
one.
That's two.
I want
yeah,
the
he doesn't
original.
want that one. Yeah.
back to back. Let's get.
But
back
again,
to back.
I don't think
that's
you're getting that
2023, so we missed that 20 year.
I don't. I think you'd only get the, like maybe Bernie's. I don't think you get like a wide release and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
The DP at Bernie's.
I don't think that movie's ever coming to the theater.
No, and even like
No.
Halloween month for Bernie's, I could see something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I
could
guess
see
so. You have more
Yeah.
Bernie's experience than me.
But, like,
My last one is Jurassic Park 3. Now, I did see that as a kid in theaters, but I
too.
barely remember it. I've seen the first Jurassic Park multiple times in theaters, which is absolutely wonderful. I've seen it more times than I can probably count, actually, because they keep popping that in theaters, and it's always such a delight to go and see. Lost World, that was one of the COVID movies, so I got to see that. COVID was horrible, but damn, when the movie theaters reopens, like I did all the Harry Potters,
Careful.
all like these Jurassic Parks. Like there were so many movies popping off. Like it was nice. V for Vendetta was one I saw too. That was really awesome.
I'd
on the
like
big
to see
screen.
that. I never
be
saw
cool.
that in the big screen. I saw that at home. So
Great
yeah,
movie.
like at Bernie's right now. Remember they're playing Napoleon again for some reason. So
They're sticking to that.
they'll play fucking Underworld. They'll play Napoleon. Plus, you can always recommend a movie. Like I think you can. Right now, they're playing Napoleon, Fast and Furious, and Old School, and then you can go watch the hockey playoffs for free there right now. So
Underworld
hockey
2,
playoffs.
Taylor. Pitch that
Yeah.
movie, and then
not one.
you and I will go
Underworld
watch
Rise
it
of the-
together.
You'll go.
Isn't
You'll
it
go see
Evolution number
Oh,
two?
yeah.
It's
Underworld Evolution.
I
Yeah,
will be
and then-
there. If you get that somehow, I will clear my schedule.
Rise of the Lycans is the third one, and then we got all those other.
I didn't get that far.
Sequels.
One and
Oh, it's
two.
so good.
I called it after two.
I've seen
There's a
all
good
of them.
sex scene in
Blood
Rise of the
Wars.
Lycans.
Isn't it when they're tipped over like the balcony and she's like, yeah, and like, isn't there some danger to it?
Yeah, because like
I've seen that.
werewolves
Danger
and
World in those
vampires aren't
movies.
supposed to mix together. Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's
and they're
it's the
fucking, and he's hanging her
vampire
over the
castle.
thing, and he's.
Oh
slowing
yeah.
her. I was I was youth. I still used YouTube for some other things back in the day. So
A/B repeat.
A/B
YouTube style.
repeat, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's some good shit. What I've been watching lately, Madison put this on it. You probably know this, Travis? It is called. Oh fuck! Where'd
Fuck
that
me twice
tab
on
go?
Sunday.
It's
Surprised someone
called-
hasn't tried to reboot League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and get it
that's
right
good.
this time. I'll put a little secret there, and I'm waiting because we eventually will run out of comic movies, but that is technically DC. I've never seen that movie all the way through. I never read any of the books.
I love that movie.
And I've just heard that it was awful. So I'm sorry, but I one day will be excited for us to retro it. But I've never seen it all the way through. Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Such a
So
good movie.
I feel like I barely even heard of this.
yeah.
So good. Stat cast. Sean Connery.
Who else?
Yeah, name one other person.
is
I'm
it
looking
just
at
a
these
big
names,
star, or
and I don't even like. I'm looking at the names. I don't even know this.
Like Statcast, the original Bond. Oh damn.
So I watched a movie called Closer with Madison, and I'd never seen that before.
Oh my God! The 2000 Portman.
Yeah, where she's a stripper.
Jude Law.
She's doing some stuff.
I
like,
just
oh my
watched
God.
that this. I guess not in June. I just watched that in May. I just
May.
watched it because it's on Netflix right now, right? Yes. My God, what did you think of Closer?
It was interesting. Like it was
You like the way his cum tastes?
yeah. Okay. Everything Jude Law was saying in that chat room, I was laughing
Oh
at.
my
but
God, I forgot about that scene.
was-
I watched
was
it.
crazy.
It's so
but yeah,
good.
when she's being grilled, like, oh, you guys like fuck here, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Why does come?
How's he fuck? What's his dick like? It's like yours, but softer. Whatever she says. Oh my
that
God,
was crazy. That was just
Yeah.
crazy. And yeah, when he's in the club with Natalie Portman and she's doing all this stuff in the dance room, it's like, oh my God, Padme, what are you doing here?
Oh, I know. It's great. That's why so I had seen that movie because when that came out around I don't care. That's what happens. You're a teenager. It came around like it's a year after Revenge of the Sith or whatever. So there was like hearing, oh, Natalie Portman plays a stripper. I remember my mom had the DVD, so I just had watched those part. But here's the thing: I didn't, as a youngin, touch myself once because the movie was so good. I just ended up watching it. It was like a great porno. I was like, what's going on here? And I went back and watched the whole movie, and then I hadn't seen it for years there. But I think like that was the first time legitimately I'd ever heard like come, as in, sorry folks, like cum come like as a word said, and like what the fuck is that, like all this
I thought
stuff
you were
and
gonna say it was
everything.
the first time I masturbated.
Yeah, no, like it was just like hearing it on like a movie. It's like, oh, they can say this, and like that's great. Like, and there's just terminology now that, of course, is adult. But yeah, if people don't know, it's Natalie Portman, Jude Law, Julia Roberts, and Clive Owen. Who Clive Owen's fucking so good in that movie. It's a movie that I watched. And I'm like, I'm so pissed he got stuck in a bunch of like B-rate action movies for a while. Like he should have been in more dramatic stuff like this. He's so good, but it's they're two separate couples, and they just kind of get interlinked, unfortunately, and it's just like not a throuple, but a quad. Like what, I don't know what a quad couple is. Anyone's in a quad couple in the chat, let me know, I guess. Tell me what it is. But like that's what it kind of is, and it's just like this great thing of like lies and deceit and one-upsmanship, and it's a very like sexy movie. It's a movie that almost fucks. There's not enough sex scenes because all the sex scenes are off screen, but highly recommend it because everyone is really, really good in that movie. And it's like a great like relationship chessboard movie, and it's '04, and absolutely watch closer. It's good. What did Madison think about it?
Oh God, I have to re-ask her actually.
Go get her right now. No.
Yeah. For context, Kirk, like here's one of the lines like, "We do everything that people have sex do. Do you enjoy sucking him off?" Yes. You like his cock.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and he's
It's
talking
some
to his
crazy
wife
shit.
in that scene. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good
some
stuff.
crazy shit. And lastly, the other thing that I watched was Dungeons and Dragons. That movie, it's gone up. It's gone up. and
Dude,
it's
every
my
time I
ratings.
watch
It's so
that, I
good.
like it more. Like it's crazy how good that is.
It's really, really a great movie.
I got to rewatch it. I haven't done a rewatch of it yet, but it's high praise, so I'll watch it.
Cool.
Quietness. Yeah, they don't believe me.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, as usual, longer on the beginning. But yes, and then finally, what's going to be happening is August 2nd, we can officially announce, let me actually just confirm that date. August 3rd actually is the day we're doing it. That is going to be Geek First Day. We're going to be celebrating our 9th anniversary. We will still do like the regular Q&A cast that usually ends up being 4 to 5 hours. We'll still do that, take questions. That's still our kind of podcast one, but we're going to be doing a stream. It's going to be about 9 hours, and what we're going to be doing is, we'll talk about the match in a second, but we're going to be doing a trivia where it's myself versus Dylan, and Taylor has to organize all. It's going to be a team of patrons, so if you want to get on there, or you can wait till the day or the day before. We'll probably say just within those days, because what's going to happen is we're going for 9 hours, but we're going to make a little tally of every time someone joins Patreon, or if they up their tier, there will be like a $5 or like a 5 minute, 15 minute, 20 minute, half an hour, that sort of thing, right? So if you want to extend the stream, and when we get there, we'll list things that we're going to do as far as extending the stream. But that's what's going to happen is that day. It's just kind of like a way to help support us. And if not, that's fine. You can just come and watch. We're still going to be doing them anyways. Majority of them are going to be kind of cast. So if you can't check it out that day, you can always still subscribe later or get them, later on the audio feeds. But yeah, so as we said, we're going to be doing that trivia. We're going to be doing the 2012 Golden Geeks because we let the people vote, our patrons. And I think we're going to do a cast on what we should watch and how we'll tackle it. But I got to start watching some movies here soon because that's August. But luckily the patrons gave us a list of movies, so we'll be watching those. We all get to pick one movie, of course, and yeah, we're gonna do a Golden Geeks everything for 2012. And the good thing is, we'll be recording this live. We usually don't, so if there's some tiebreakers, we'll probably throw it to the live chat. So if you're in there, come watch that day. And then finally, the kind of fourth event, because like I said, the match is something we will be talking about, is we're going to be doing Geek Versus. We want to do one kind of classic, like throwback to the first couple years of the podcast. And same thing with patrons, we're going to lean on you. Is what we used to do is we used to do genres, whether it be like Halloween or superheroes or fantasy characters or teams, etc. And I don't think we'll re-upload any episodes because like because the audio is they're pretty trash, because this is like in the Dylan basement, one mic, like not great. What we do is we usually make a roster of 20 people. We get a randomizer of 20 fictional characters, and then we do random, and it's so-and-so versus so-and-so. So let's say it's, Gimli versus Darth Vader. And then we break it down. We have a whole debate on who we think. We try to have as much as we can, non-biased debate on who would win said fight. And it always has led to really fun discussions, some heated debates. One of the casts was one of our heatest casts ever we did. It was kind of fun. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to collect 20 fictional characters. We're going to let the patrons throw some in. We're going to randomize it and just talk about some kind of, 1,000 Ways to Die. That, what was that game back in the day? Samurai versus, or... What was it?
Oh,
Ultimate
Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
we
it's
have the same computer program that they use, so we'll do all
yes,
1,000.
3D
of course,
generates
yeah.
the battle. Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. It's kind of like a
real
Deadliest
actors.
Warrior type with fictional characters. So it's always tons of fun. And then I think like one of the stretch goals we might do is like Jackbox, as far as plug that in and play that with everybody.
Well, they got that new adult Jackbox,
There's
right?
the adult Jackbox. Yeah, we've talked about doing a trivia of, I think, was it Dill? I think Dylan was talking about hosting a trivia of us competing, right? I think it was like us competing at like the GV trivia. So there's a couple of stretch goals where we're going to do a trivia that Dylan's hosted. We play Jackbox with some of you, and that'll be based on how many people subscribe and whatnot. And I'm sure there'll be some other stuff along the way. Maybe there's some of the stuff we get announced or teased. I don't know. And then finally, there should be. Oh boy, what's going on there? Okay, so cool. I was going to share screen something. So you got to go first there, Kirkland, because I'm going to,
Sorry to kind of derail us here, but I
bring it
was laughing looking at this list of big names for League of
Oh, Stuart.
Other than Sean Connery, I literally do not recognize anyone.
So we have talked about that third person on the list, Stuart Townsend. Do you remember when we talked about him?
Stuart Townsend. I remember the name. I don't remember the context.
He was the guy who was originally cast as Aragorn. And then as they started to shoot some stuff, or when they were just whatever, God, what is it called? Why am I you're practicing line? No, you're practicing rehearsal. They just realized he just looked too young, so they went a different route. But he was almost Aragorn. But yeah, I don't know about the stacked cast, Taylor. There's not too many.
Jason Fleming in there. He's in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, he's Azazel.
Oh,
from First Class, yeah. So there you go, stacked cast.
Okay.
Stacked
Sorry
cast.
to derail you there, but I was just
that's
laughing.
okay. But then finally, we did announce that there was some scuttlebutt of what happened and everything like that about our wrestling matches. Because if you don't know, me and Taylor have competed in 3 wrestling matches. He had won one by cheating. I had won another one by Dylan quitting for him, which is part of the reason why this started, because Taylor has said that he doesn't view it as an actual win. And then Taylor won the ladder match a couple of years ago because his wife interfered. You see the pattern there. But either way, I said, well, that can't be. We have to do this again because I know I can win. I should have already won that second one. So Taylor agreed to it. But then Taylor, a couple weeks ago, while he was in Atlanta, that's quotation marks because I don't believe it, his lawyer had sent me a document saying that he could not compete, that his doctor would not clear him. His lawyer said it was not a good idea. Madison, even though he said, I don't care what Madison said, now it's like, his wife doesn't want him to compete. And then I was also faxed this photo, Taylor, and you have to tell me if this is a true thing. So this is supposedly your neck, as we've talked about in the second match. Your neck got very injured. Your neck is supposed to be the green line, and it is the red line. And you're trying to tell me this is factual about your neck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't fake an X-ray. That comes straight from the doctor's office. So there you go.
You could have got that anywhere. That could be someone else's X-ray.
No. That's 5 out of 9. That is the 5th photo of my neck.
Yeah, I need to see the other ones.
Is there an Amazon link in that URL? That sounds like
and you're listening to Olivia Rodrigo too. There, that's interesting. I don't know what's going on there. So Taylor, so you are leaning to the doctor's recommendation of not doing the match, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my doctor actually got off the phone with them. They told me to write down some information here. They told me, and I quote, "Note from doctor," because this is my defense. So they
I quote, "Note from doctor."
Note from doctor. I had to write down. This is what they put in my voicemail, my voice box there. So I had to write
who
this
wrote
down. Note
that,
from doctor.
Cobra?
Taylor not fighting. Well, I wrote it. Prescription. No fucks given is my addition. Add that. The actual note that they told me to write is Taylor not fighting. That's from the doctor. So.
Okay.
not fighting.
As I said before,
Strong.
there is a whole history of Taylor. What really upset me was when we did the second match. A lot of people picked you to win, and they were even cheering for you. And I did not understand as you cheated in the first match. There's video footage of you cheating. It was not a weapons match. So many of our fans are just illogical, and they're just narcissists, and they're cowards, and they go wherever you go, and you're doing a cowardice act right now. Have we announced this match? Said, oh, no matter what happens, we're gonna do this. So for me, I have lawyers, and they say that should be binding. So one way or another, I'm going to make this match happen. People, I'm not taking off the schedule. There will be a wrestling match come August 3rd for the 9-year anniversary. I don't care what this fucking neck is. If that red line is what his neck actually is because I heard it, then I'm going to make it go the complete clockwise and the other way. I'm going to flip it, turn it upside down, shove it up his ass. I don't care. I'll get to all in the game in a second there. But, put that comment. I don't even know what it is yet. But my point is, there is going to be a match August 3rd, whether Taylor likes it or not, and I'm announcing it here. It's not going to be in the podcast channel, but on YouTube for the next few weeks, I am going to document how I get this done. It's going to be a series called The Downfall of Taylor Field. And every week, you're going to get an episode. It's going to be kind of like a vlog sort of thing, but I'm going to take you through the history of what this happened. I'm going to take you through how this is going to happen, because this match is going to happen. Even if I have to sue the bejesus off him, it's going to. Or maybe there's other ways. I don't give a damn. I'm going to do what I have to do. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. So Taylor Field, I don't care what your doctor says. I don't care what your wife says. I don't care what your Koba note says. You got to get ready for August 3rd. So we will circle back to this, but I don't care what's going to happen. This is going to go down.
I have to do my squats then.
You better work some squats on your neck. But only it's been said that Travis is a dangerous worker in the ring. So Taylor's fully justified his decision. Damn right, I'm a dangerous worker. Gonna hurt this man. So August 3rd, he might try and get out of it. Stay tuned. I got a couple. I'm not wearing sleeves right now, but if I did, they'd have lots of tricks up them. So
I'm running out of money to pay for these lawyers, so who knows what's going to happen here.
Wrestles a Goldberg style. Absolutely, S-Bubs. He's going to end his career, and then we're going to do a documentary years later. So, as usual, I think what we're going to have to... I think in the future, we're going to have like a 4 powwow when we do our next summer, or we do our next shareholders meeting, and I think we're going to have to do like a separate GeekVerse episode in the future, because our opening is just ever since, which I have
a full episode.
Ever since people wanted the what have we been watching, I feel like we go on tangents and we got questions, which is great. But I feel like in the future we're gonna have to figure it out, because now we got some news to start. But we'll streamline some of that. But yeah, Taylor, you got that button ready, because we're gonna start going to news. So you got the edit ready.
End stream. That's what I'm hitting.
No. Did you even make a thumbnail, by the way?
Oh fuck no, I forgot.
Awesome. There you go. Okay, we're gonna take our first break, and then we're gonna talk about some news finally. So we'll be right back. And we are back. And as I forgot to mention, down below is everything you need to know. That is the Patreon link. We would appreciate if you think about it. If you've ever thought about supporting us, wait until April 3rd. If you want to do it sooner, then great. But if you want to, wait until April 3rd, or do the dollar tier and go up. Because yes, you'll get the stream to go, and even if it's chat, maybe if it's just like us extending and just shooting shit with people in the chat, that's what we could do. We would just appreciate the support on the 9-year. And the November, we do a stream for, the charity. This is a stream to help Geekverse, because anything we make and get funded is going to help us for the 2025 workload. And if you've listened to originals, it's going to be a bit more of a tricky year, especially the first half for us. So we'd very much appreciate that. You support that, which also, I forgot to mention, I don't have it here ready. I'll say this before we get into the news. Again, everybody, thank you that did rent our film Adrenochrome, everybody that supported it, because we can officially announce that we have been accepted in our first film festival. We are in the Things in the Basement Film Festival in Seattle, and we're very excited about that. We don't know when our date of screening is yet, because there's multiple films and there's a couple processes and whatnot. So we will of course promote it. And if you're in Seattle, I guess if you're a Seattle fan, you can go see our film in the theater, because
theater.
Yeah, we got a whole theater now.
We bought a theater for this.
Because
who knows? Festival.
We would like to go to some of that. Who knows if we get to, because it's just it's a little short notice, because summer's very booked. But either way, we are there, and no, it's very cool. So just a big thank you to everybody. You will probably see it on the socials tomorrow. Up in the Discord, we get a nice it's called a what is that? Lario or Lariel? What is that? Taylor, you would know. You're graphic designer. No, it's Laurel or something like that. What is it called?
Laurel, a laurel.
A Laurel, yeah. So we got that. So we're gonna look fancy now when we do our next poster. We're gonna, and this is this was the first one we submitted to. Our plan is we're doing about 24 film festivals a year for one project. Sometimes there might be another ones because there was a project that messaged us after because we made it in one film festival, said, hey, we want you part of this one, and I said sure. And there's just certain waivers you get. So that's the great thing. But no, that's the thing where all that stuff for the rental of the film or stuff like GV Day, that's all going to go back into things like broadening that side of it. And we very much appreciate it because we legitimately would not have been able, we could have made that movie, but we would not have the same gear or the same software we could without each and every one of you. So this is just the start. Of course, we won't get into everyone, but it's just cool that we have made it into one. So we'll keep you updated as things go along, but this is the biggest one because it's our first one, and it's great because like not saying that it's like the start of like, oh, tomorrow we're Hollywood famous, but it's like it's nice to feel like, oh, we're doing something a little right of, we got, first festival we submitted to, made it past the like nominations process, and now we're official selection. So it was really cool to get that news. So again, just a big thank you to everybody that has supported us because that step, that achievement that we have, we wouldn't have got. And even then I was expecting a few like denials first, so it's kind of cool, like right off the bat, the first one that was up as far as in June to find out the deadline, and we got in. So very cool. So big thank you to everybody. So that's our update on GeekVerse Studios. We're officially in a festival selected film, boys.
It's crazy. It hasn't hit me yet. Doesn't feel real.
We're on websites now. It's great.
Yeah, you sent that photo of the website, and it was just like, that's just strange. It's good.
We're up there with other films. So yeah, it's going to be cool. So yeah, and like I said, the films that it's going to be away for a year, and then we will put it back up next year unless, we hit the jackpot and someone buys it off us. But if not, we will still self-distribute it next year, probably come next springtime. So you know what not is going to get distributed maybe ever is the Blade movie, because here we go. We're going to get into a bunch of other Marvel news too, but we'll just start with the Blade stuff. So Blade has lost its second director. It came out today that has happened. It's on its, I think, 7th writer. Now, I guess the word is with this that this writer is more to punch up the current story they have, and it's somebody that has worked on like Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man Homecoming, so it's someone they trust. So that is the rumor that they like they like the current story, but they just want someone to come and maybe put some new fresh on it. Who knows? But they did lose their second director. So what I'm going to throw to you guys, and I have this question later on with the Batman when we get to the DC news, and we have some stuff to talk about later where I don't care. Actually, we'll put it in together with this story. Last week it came out that Jordan Peele met with, he met with Feige and Marvel Studios to talk about a project. And then it came out that it was X-Men. Apparently the talks didn't go through, and that doesn't mean like it's like, oh, they fucking hate each other, didn't happen. Just like, hey, we're going to go this route. We don't go this route yet. We have some questions about that after from God Loves Me 69. But the thing is, like, he is in the wheelhouse. So we were talking about in the Discord, and this is the way where it's like, do you guys take this as like a good sign? Because maybe it is somebody, and this director, not a very well-established director, not like a big name like a Jordan Peele. So, and Kirk, I'll start with you. Do you take this as a sign of, hey, maybe, because even in this report, they said that, hey, and this comes from like a high B tier. I'll say an A tier, actually. It's an A tier. They're usually not wrong. It's just lower A tier. That they are appreciating that they don't have to rush into projects and they want to take their time and get it right. But at the same time, like, again, many writers, this thing was announced in 2019. So it's been a while. So do you take this as good news as, hey, maybe people theorizing, hey, they met about X-Men, but maybe they could reel Peele back in for this? Like, could we get some bigger name that we're all like, this is really exciting? Or do you think it's the reverse of it is just like another person lost because this film's in development hell? And I got a second follow-up question, but I'll wait till after. So what do you take from this news?
I'm more in the camp of it being a bad thing. Okay. I don't like. I definitely can see, the more positive side of like they don't want to rush into it. They do want to tell the story that they want to tell. At least not necessarily the director or the writer, I guess, just what
Marvel
Feige and the crew wants to do. Obviously, like, there's some really big names attached to this. So, and like really big names with a really big character, I feel like is like another pairing that just makes this really special. And it was very special, and I guess it still kind of is, maybe less so for me now. But like when it was announced and we're just getting like Mahershala, like the casting, we had the Eternals. Was it the Eternals end credit when you hear his voice?
Yeah. You
So
sure you ready for that,
technically-
Dane? You sure you ready for that, Dane? Yeah.
Technically, he's in the MCU already without just being casted. But I don't know. I don't want to say like the hype is disappearing on me. I think it's more so just like because we're taking so long, and you mentioned that this is the 7th writer. It's just like, man, if this comes out and it's not a 10 out of 10, I think it's a major disappointment. And like 10 out of 10, like not even 9 out of 10. I guess maybe there I'll stretch it, but like I don't know. I just like if this does come out, I am expecting top tier. Like it's got to be. Well, it probably will be better than the Blade original movies, at least like the 2nd and 3rd. But like, I have so much nostalgia with those movies.
The second's great.
Is it great?
The
It's been
second
so long
one's
since I've seen
Guillermo del
those.
Toro directed that. That's a good one.
I just
I
remember
think
the first one being like top in my mind.
Lots of
but-
people. I'm a Blade 2 guy, but that's
Okay.
that's like an Aliens debate. There's tons of people that are Blade 1s and Blade 2 guys, but I'd say the only one that sucks is 3. 3 is the legitimate one that is not good. So
Yeah, so I think it like I just hold those movies so near and dear to my heart in nostalgia's sake. It's just if this one is lesser and it feels like kind of Disneyfied in the sense of certain Marvel properties feeling less mature, maybe like especially Blade. Like because when I think of Blade, I didn't even know it was like a Marvel comic until I think I played Ultimate Alliance back in the day. Just because it's like especially the Wesley Snipes, like it doesn't feel
a horror
anywhere
movie.
near that.
It's
Yeah,
a horror
exactly. It
action
doesn't feel
movie.
anywhere near that realm. So I think I have super high expectations. For the nostalgia's sake, as well as just kind of how long it's been brewing and stewing, and
there is rumors they might make it rated R now. They haven't officially said that, but that is the word.
Yeah.
So
I thought we already kind of had that already.
But
so
I
that's
was just saying to help with your maybe it not being
Yeah.
Disneyfied, you know. So
I think it's really just like how long it's taking now. Where some red flags are sprouting for me. But that's just where I'm at right now. Maybe I'll change with some more information, and we just get a little bit more solidification. But like even like. How long ago was it when Mia Goth got casted?
I don't think
it feels like a
last-
century to me. Like it feels like forever ago. It's probably
last year, but it might have
probably
been
last year, but still, it's just like I don't know. Is anyone with me, Taylor? How do you feel about this?
April 2023. So actually, it's coming on. It's past a year. Fuck.
Okay, I still thought it was longer, but
Yeah.
I think I worry because we've seen projects like New Mutants and stuff that get delayed, and I of all the things, it's funny that Blade is the one that's kind of running into these issues, and maybe they're just so paranoid and they just want to make it great. If they're running into director problems, then you know what? We're gonna go back to Underworld here. They should just get the director of that first Underworld, Len Wiseman.
No.
You know he's doing the ballerina. So I think that
He's
this
doing
guy's,
or did?
he's directing the ballerina movie.
Oh, the one that they had to go back and reshoot and get the original John Wick directors to help out with? Yeah.
You know,
sometimes people need help, Travis. Not everyone's
he's done like
Superman.
4 Underworld movies, and he's got an ace in the hole for vampires. So I think that's what they need. Vampires are not easy to work on.
Let us do the fucking movie at this point, you know? Like people all in the game saying make the movie 80 to 100 million. We'll take a clean 100K, all three of us. We'll split it. We'll make you that movie, you know. And
Just fund the movie. Don't even pay me. Just pay for everything.
Yeah, we'll make it. Marvel budgets are 200 million usually. They are, but I think that's where I agree with All in the Game. They should they should do that. They should take that down. Like they don't all have to be that. They don't all have to be these huge event movies and just like I know I'll go back to it. I guess it's just because like it's also just we got Mahershala Ali where everyone's like this guy's perfect, so it's not like oh we need to make up for this guy who people are iffy on. It's like I think people would just be down to see a Blade adventure movie with Ali. That's it. You know, like I don't think we're looking for it to be a big connection or anything. I'm not even looking. I know it might set up Midnight Suns, but I'm not even looking for that. You know.
I know it's Taylor's turn, but I'm just jumping in here because I'm excited.
Do it.
But like I feel like also there is massive names in these. That's already just been rumored for Blade, but like ever since I saw Godzilla -1, my whole outlook on just movie budgets has just completely been shattered.
It's a little skewed though. Remember, their budgets work a lot differently.
Fair, but like even if it's double or triple, whatever like the rumored is, like just my outlook on movies now has just been so like shattered in the sense of like you don't need 200 million. You don't need $250 million
Well, even Dune
to make a good movie.
Because Dune lower too, like, and I know it's the thing of like Dune 2 budget.
It was lower.
It's 190
for what you would think. I feel.
but that's because like they took a lot of pay cut. But even like Apes is 160, like, and those are like big movies. Where like
those are
fucking
blockbusters.
Dune 2 being 190 looks better than majority of the last Marvel movies. So, Superman Mike is not a fan of your.
You had to go
choice.
there. I wasn't gonna say it.
Lynn Wiseman also did that
awful Total Recall.
I was trying to say a positive note.
Kate Beckinsale movie, Superbad Mike. You better watch out.
Oh, she was in that. I forgot about that. I've never seen the remake.
I saw that in theaters.
Yeah, and then you had the Fast and Furious movie, 500 million. And Gareth Edwards, who did The Raid, or Chad Stahelski, he said he'd like to. I actually think that would be a great pick, but I don't know. I don't know if it gets tricky because it's. I don't know. I feel like we're venturing into Star Wars territory again here, Taylor. I think. How do I word this without getting canceled? I think, unfortunately and fortunately, I think they want a black director to do it. I don't think that is the perfect route because I think I understand with Black Panther when those movies are very much about race and oppression and yet to da, right? Like very important themes. I don't mean to say yet to da. That's just my version of etc. So I'm sure some people
whatever that
take that clip.
Means.
Yeah, there's the red eye thumbnail and cancel. But like no, like there's certain movies where I go, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, Tress, you want to make a movie about Martin Luther King?" I go, I'm not the right person for this project. Where a Blade, I feel like I could do that because I'm not saying you can't have those aspects in a Blade movie. And that's the thing. If Al Lee has said, I want to do a Blade movie that is about vampires but also touching about race, then that's why I'm not in the room, so I can't say, oh, it doesn't have to be a black director. But that's where I feel like they kind of want to go. And I think we've seen that lots of times with this has to be a person of color director. This has to be a woman director. And I don't think that's a bad thing per se, because we've talked about this before. Many people in the past did not get that opportunity because they were a black person. Oh, you want to direct that movie? No, you're not white. We don't want that. So it is like correcting. But for me, I hope we get into the world. Like I said, I want to live in a world where a female director is directing a Batman movie and not just, well, you can direct Supergirl because that's the girl movie. You can direct Batman because that's the male movie, right? So I think Chad Stahelski is actually like the perfect choice. I know he's doing Ghost of Tsushima next. I hope that would be it, but I think they want a black director because both directors have been black, and we'll see. And again, I don't know the slant. I don't know what they want to do. If it is more race focused, then I'd understand that pitch, right? But I think it would be someone in that realm, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's the way it's gonna go. And I think it is, like, of course, because I don't want to say, oh, best person for the job, because then like a lot of people like say like, oh, that's I think a lot of people that use like the woke termage is like, oh, I don't have a problem with women, I just want the best person for a job. Like they use that terminology, but like I actually do. But and I guess you're right, Alden game. Boston wasn't he wasn't black, so yeah, no, they were PC for sure, but not black. Yeah, and I didn't know that about. So there you go. I thought Jan was black, so then that is me being wrong about that. I did not know about the Boston, so. Then I don't know, but there are still people of color, right? So again, that's the same thing where Blade. No, you can put that comment back up. No, like, and maybe that's the aspect too of just they want a person of color to direct Blade because it does tell that sort of story. I don't know. We'll see with this third one. Obviously, if it was like a Jordan Peele, that wouldn't answer the question because that would be a person of color. But that's like, for me, that wouldn't matter because like, if you can get Jordan Peele, you get Jordan Peele. We're going all the way back to Jigsaw. Ryan Coogler is directing that Vampire Hunter movies for Warner Bros. The rumor is it's a vampire KKK movie. We don't know if the black people are vampires and they're going after the KKK, or the KKK is the vampires and like the black people are going after them.
I hope it's that one for the first option.
I don't know what it is, but it's like it's Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and it has a bunch of other good actors in there. But like with Peele, it's like, oh look, Dill Dog's in the chat. There he is. Oh. So like with me, it's like Peele, like that's a top 10 working director right now. You go after Peele if you can get him, but we'll see, because I don't know what the script and story says. So that's why I just didn't know with Chad Stahelski if they didn't want to do that because they didn't want to have a white person directing a Blade movie, right? I don't know, but thank you all again for correcting me on that one, because I definitely forgot about Boston, but I didn't even know about the other one. So both those options sound like they would be very cool. I think they would be. So Taylor, back to you a little bit.
Sorry, I got
Or
distracted.
golf,
25 minutes ago when we
Yeah.
interrupted you. Just keep
A
going.
lot of
on
tangents
with what
tonight.
you
Yeah.
said.
Go wherever. Fuck. You know what? Rise of Lycans, man. I'm just kidding.
Sorry to interrupt you again, Taylor, for the third time. The rights of Coogler's vampire movie reverts back to him after 20 years. It's one of the sweetest deals. I didn't even know you could fucking do those type of deals anymore. Remember when we talked about that with Mad
Yeah, dude,
Max?
that was adrenochrome.
Well, we still can't. We haven't made a deal yet, so we still
That's
hold the
true.
cars. we own the movie, but like that. But that's where it comes down to, right, Taylor? Because what happens if someone comes to us and writes us a big fat check and say, "Hey, you can have this check, but you don't own the movie anymore," and that's where we would have to have a discussion, right? That happens all the time. So but I didn't know they still did that. I thought we covered with Mad Max. I didn't know you could still get those deals. So sweet deal for Coogler if it's a hit, because that's awesome for him. So, Blade Taylor, is this good news or bad news?
Sorry, so the bad news, I
No,
already
it's
put my 2 cents in.
Because the good news, the positive people are trying to say this is good news because maybe they're going to go get a more established director like a Jordan Peele,
Right.
or so like maybe
Right,
people are
right.
thinking, oh, because they met with Peele. I actually don't think that's it. I think the story's just coming out at the same time. My hope is that they come back to Peele for X-Men, because as much as I'd like him to do Blade, we'll talk about that in a bit. I think Peele on X-Men is like, that's hype. That to me is like, that shoots to like, X-Men's already my number one, but like with the fucking Assassin's Creed writer, I'm like, but if you tell me Jordan Peele's directing X-Men, but where are you, Taylor? Do you think you're hopeful that, oh, maybe this means they're changing things, they want to go after someone bigger as a director, or do you think it's just another stumble to this movie probably not happening at some point?
I kind of feel like maybe it's a stumble.
2 for 3.
Yeah, it is kind of worrisome, because I feel like if you create a project and you spend a few years working away at this project and you pick the individuals you want to be working on this and bring this to life, and then you start running into these issues and you're trying to pick different people, the project's already going on. I mean, you don't want things to get messy like that. And I think, okay, is this like a Rise of Skywalker thing where they thought, oh, you know what, we'll make a good plan here where we bring back the guy that did Force Awakens and did a great job with that, and he's going to come back and finish this trilogy, and then you just get a very messy movie that was very creatively kind of chaotic. So
Yeah.
you run into some dilemmas there. I feel like if you can't start at the very start of this project, like I already said, just create that cohesive kind of vision as a team, then you're going to run into issues. So
Yeah. I really don't know where I am on this one, like if it's a positive or con. I am more in the camp where I'm just every day waiting to wake up to that announcement of scheduling conflicts, and Ali can't do it. And that's the thing where this movie's supposed to come out, I think, next year. It's not coming out next year. That's not happening. Ali's rumored to be joining that Jurassic World movie, right? So it's just like,
Yeah.
I think clearly with that news and this director news, I'm not saying he's out, but maybe it was a thing of like, well, my schedule's open again, so I'm gonna go make some money on this Jurassic movie, right? And that could be cool. I did not think Ali would go do a Jurassic movie. That's like a weird, like put together to me. But yeah, I just am. So I don't know if it's good news or bad news, because we don't know the inner workings, right? Like, I would feel bad for the guy that got the gig, and if the reason is, hey, fucking Jordan Peele came and that's the way Hollywood works, like, that does suck. But at the same time, Marvel needs some wins. So I just hope it's someone more established. And we talked about that with Midnight Suns. I'll pull up the list because he threw out like Fede Alvarez, and he's someone that's rumored for Midnight Suns. And All in the Game asked, can they make a Midnight Suns movie work without Blade? Yeah. They made a Venom movie work without Spider-Man. Now you can argue if it's a good movie or not, but like, it made lots of money, right? Or better example, they made a Joker movie without Batman. Like, the general audience doesn't know that Blade has to be on the Midnight Suns. Like, I think you could just put Oscar Isaac, the big star, in that leadership slot, right? And go, hey, Isaac's a big star. Moon Knight was a popular show for us. He's now the leader of Midnight Suns, and here's all the other wacky characters, right? And you could even change things up. You could put Strange in there. You could put Scarlet Witch. Like, there's tons of characters, so it could work. Like, the MCU universe worked without Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, right? As long as the story's good enough, you don't need them. Like, First Class worked without Wolverine. Like, I think there's tons of examples, so I think it happened. And that was the rumor this week as well, that Midnight Suns has a writer, I guess, Michael Green. He did write on the Blade script, but he also wrote Logan, He wrote Blade Runner 2049. So I don't know why X-Men's not getting fucking great writers like this. We're getting the Hunger Games Assassin's Creed guy. Well, Midnight Suns is getting, hey, I wrote Logan and Blade Runner. So it's like, great. And then there was, let me try and find a list there. But that's what I was going to say. Is there any other directors that you would think that you'd want to tackle Blade? Like, let's say it was more of a name, or are you kind of in a wait and see?
Easy answer. Wait and see. Give me 5 minutes to search up some things, and then I'll get back to you.
I thought Kirkman was going right with like the Barbarian director. Just go for his favorite and just go.
Yeah,
oh,
why
that
not?
guy. Yeah.
I'll rewatch that movie probably this weekend. So.
Oh, where was it? Oh, right, because that was a rumor right now. That was a rumor at one point. Michael Giacchino was tapped for the director's job. I'm so annoyed. I just pulled it up like easily today. Oh, is it because I'm spelling sons wrong? That might be it because we don't know how they're gonna spell it. Oh my god, I'm sorry to be slowing down the cast, but
You're buying me time. Just keep going.
it was like, I think the list was like Sam Raimi, it was Fede Alvarez, it was Michael Giacchino, and I thought there was somebody on that list as well that was like a different type of name. But it was like,
Here you go.
who-
Sorry. Keep going. I'm
what
just
do you mean?
excited.
There you go. Oh, you gotta go. You go
You
ahead.
bought
Go.
me time.
Yeah, go.
The great and powerful director of both Miami Vice and Collateral. I'm going Michael Mann, the 81-year-old man.
No way.
He's gonna lead my Blade movie. Definitely not a person of color,
Michael Mann.
but we're going Michael Mann
Oh wow.
with two
that's-
N's, in case you're looking.
That's a
Or
a
wait and
pick.
see. We'll one of those two.
That's quite the pick there. Yeah, I can't find it, the list of them. But like I said, it was, the problem was though with that list, the rumored list, it was like a lot of like, okay, Sam Raimi, sure, Fede Alvarez, who's like directed Evil Dead and Alien, which looks great, sure. Like it was like the top tier,
Whoever's
like
had a
all these,
movie in the last couple
yeah,
years.
and like made so like that's why I actually liked the Michael Giacchino pick, because I liked Werewolf by Night, I liked that vibe, and I think that's someone that is in the Marvel family. So, and Fede, you were telling me Fede Alvarez directing Midnight Suns. As long as these directors get the same freedom that Sam Raimi did with Strange, that'd be great. Because Fede, again, I don't think Fede's gonna make like, what was it gonna be like it's not gonna be like fucking Evil Dead 2013 for Blade, right? Like I'm not expecting that. I would never expect Marvel to go that hard, but I think like Don't Breathe had some good action here. But go ahead, Taylor. You got something to say?
I don't know who I would go with, but I'd say just they should just go fucking crazy with something like this. If they could pick any director.
Ari Aster.
Well, no,
Hereditary?
they should do like
Ooh.
Martin Scorsese.
Oh my
Scorsese.
god.
Shutter Island, you know.
Yeah, he wants to do a Blade movie. The guy says they're not cinema. God.
Or M. Night Shyamalan, you know, he's got some fucked up shit that he's cooking up with.
You've
Oh,
got some fucked up shit.
That'd be a dangerous pick. I'd love to be so scared if they were announced M. Night Shyamalan was doing Blade. And what character would M. Night be playing too? You know, that'd be the funny part.
He'd be no, he wouldn't be played.
They-
Sorry,
Like who's the old guy in the old one?
Whistler.
Like yeah, Whistler.
He'd be Whistler. Fuck.
On the game says so they just ignored Blade was going around recruiting people like Black Knight and Eternals. Yeah, just like they ignored the end credit of Incredible Hulk 2. Their second film in the MCU, Iron Man is a part of the Avengers, and he's recruiting Bruce Banner. That makes no sense in the context of the rest of the MCU movie. They've done that multiple times where it's just like they do something and it didn't make sense. I think the problem is with Phase 4 and 5, they're doing that a lot more, and also they're under the microscope a lot more. But Phase 1 to 3, there's multiple times where they did do stuff that didn't make sense or it didn't pay off, right? Super Mike also said get Michael Giacchino. He nailed it. Yeah, all the games all for Giacchino. Let's see. I don't want to take a crack at that name.
Azteca Aguilar.
There you go. The rights
Assassin's
of
Creed, Aguilar.
the rights of Blades going to Disney was a bad sign. New Line or Warner Bros. Should have kept the rights. Hey, well, they should have made a fucking movie. That was in there. Like Daredevil, like obviously Daredevil and stuff didn't matter because eventually got bought by Fox. But all those people in the rights were like I never understood like when the rights did like Daredevil had the rights or Fox had the rights to Daredevil and they just didn't make a movie, went back to Marvel. I don't understand why they didn't just even go make a fucking $20 million Daredevil movie and call it a day, and then you got the rights for like another 5 years. Like I don't like it's trust for me. It's hard for me to trust that pitch because Warner Brothers is also like very all over the map, right? Like we saw a fucking Batgirl movie get shelved for tax reasons. So like I get what you're saying of like, oh, it sucks because it might be stuck at Disney, but also with Warner Brothers, I don't know what it would have done, but yeah, who knows? I think it's just a bigger problem. So let's see here. What was the other news? I'll pull it up. Let's see. Oh, so there's right now I got a question from our resident Marvel Alliance host, Chris, in a second here to deal with these stories. But there was also some stories here. I think one I'm going to kick for another time because we don't need to discuss it right now. Let me go. There's a rumor going around that the Young Avengers... So the Young Avengers apparently is going into production next year. The rumored top tier choice is Westball, who did the Apes movies. So I want your thoughts on that. And I did just want your guys' thoughts on those. We talked about Jordan Peele a little bit, but the idea of Jordan Peele either working on X-Men or working with Marvel. Right now, it just sounds like it's like something they talked about. He's not like in links for it, but do you think it's something that could happen? And then I also have Chris's question in a second. But Kirkland, I'll start with you. Young Avengers, would Westball be a good pick? Just coming off Apes and then, some Peele stuff?
Like he just did Kingdom.
Yeah, he's the guy that did Kingdom. Yeah, and that's apparently the it's C tier scoopers, so it's like a BS meter thing. But how would you feel about that?
Yeah, I like that. I trust him with a collaboration of a handful of characters on screen together. I think that movie had some really great action as well as some good character stuff, and I want all of that smoothied up in a blender for me. I don't know why I said blended up in a I kind of reverse those. Blended up into a nice smoothie for me to drink my Young Avenger.
Just a reminder when we pitch
Full
people to
fucking
buy our
phrase
films,
was a terrible-
as Gandalf said in Return of the King, it's just better off you say nothing at all. And that's what we'll tell Kirkland
Yeah,
before going to pitch
that's what he-
meetings. You want to smoothie it up? Adrenochrome is festival submission film. Yeah.
No, I like that director a lot for what I've seen.
Did you see the Maze Runner stuff?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've
And
seen
you
the
like
Maze
those?
Runners, and I did like them. Yeah.
Okay,
I
there you
thought it
go.
was
So
fun.
it's a good rap track.
Yeah, and then Chris's
Peele.
question.
Oh,
or
well,
we're
I
not
didn't
getting-
throw a question. You can throw it out now. Take my thunder. That's okay. I'm the host,
Chris from Marvel Alliance, Great
Yeah.
and Powerful. He asked, "What has more of a chance of actually happening, Young Avengers or Armor Wars?"
but I'm surprised he didn't put Blade in this list. Maybe he just thinks Blade is like dead. But yeah, what do you
Blade
think,
would be at the
Kirkland?
bottom for me if we're
Yeah.
incorporating it. If we want to tweak his question here for him, I think they're both gonna happen. I definitely thumbs up, solid for me. I think they're both gonna happen. I think if I had to choose one or the other, I want to say like Armor Wars, even though I think
What?
I know I feel like that is the one I would want the least out of all
Yeah.
three of these, including Blade. But
What do you want more, Armor Wars or Eternals 2?
Eternals 2, I think.
Really?
I just don't.
Wow,
care.
no, that's
I don't think of
surprising.
Armor Wars. Like
I agree with you,
There's a
but
point
I
in
just didn't
time when
think-
I was there, I think. But
Or no,
it's
I
just-
don't agree with you, actually. I would take Armor Wars over Eternals. I don't need to see those fucking boring characters again, you know what I'm saying?
I think now that I kind of understand what the Eternals are, I'm like, okay, I've swallowed that pill. Give me a story with them. Whereas like leading into that film, I knew nothing, and it was just
Yeah.
like I'm excited to see what this is, and then the twist, I just not a fan of. Like I just
right.
didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, Armor Wars, maybe it's just too. It's too late. Maybe like my hype is just really that ship is gone. I don't know.
So Blade, Armor Wars, all these projects are too late for Kirkland now. They've
Well, fuck,
their
it's been
ship has sailed.
It's been a long time
Well,
since
I-
these
I-
announcements.
I
but-
guess also too, you'd have to tell me. I'll take back my pick for Armor Wars and Eternals until I would hear what's the status of Skrull Roadie? Because if if it's still worn on, then yeah, actually I would pick Eternals because I have no interest in that whole Skrull fallout. But if they just cheat and say, well, it was actually just after Endgame, then like okay, that I can be back on board.
Yeah.
So my answer has an asterisk by it.
I think like looking at the question, I thought Young Avengers might have been the one that isn't quite going to happen, but just because of who I pictured being on the Young Avengers team, like when we were first talking about this, we're getting introduced to like Kate Bishop and Yelena and like these characters that could fit in that realm, but now it's just like, well, they're older, so that was maybe my counter to that, but it's like,
Well, Bishop's
We-
in the movie for sure.
we can just get new characters as well that I'm sure are going to be introduced in the
Yeah.
youngins, so I think it'll work. I think both of them are happening.
Yeah, I think I think Young Adventures has the better chance to happen because I just feel like if they look at like Don Cheadle or Haley Steinfeld, they'll like edge to go with Haley Steinfeld. But at the same time, if Amon Vellani's in this, you can also look at the Marvels and go, well, it's our second lowest film of all time. So is there a reason there? As I've said before, not from a fan, just business wise. Neither of these movies should be happening. The only reason Blade keeps happening, because I promise you, is that a bold thing? Do I want to say it right now? I'll do a trash told you. If all three of these movies come out, I think Blade would do the best out of them. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know if I'm wrong there. It also would be rated R, so it would be harder to get that audience, right? But I just think Armor Wars, people are gonna. And again, I hold the opinion, or I hold. All right, what is that I'm trying to say here? I like the opportunity to take back my opinion based on new information, because if they also say like, hey, Tom Holland's in Armor Wars, then like, fuck. But I'm saying as it currently stands, just Don Cheadle-led Armor Wars. What is your finger weighing in there?
Just sounds a lot like a Kirkland quote on the Dune 1 review. You know, based
That's
on more
different.
information that'll change my.
You
my
had the
vote
product right in
here.
front of you. The film started, ended. You gave it a 2 out of 10. Okay, let's move on. For me, I think that Young Avengers and Armor Wars are both bad ideas. I think they're going to lose money. Armor Wars for sure, and Young Avengers, because I don't think people give a fuck. I think unless they make them very cool, but I think Young Avengers has a better chance to happen because it probably has more ties to the future universe, where Armor Wars is just like, what does Rhodey have ties to right now? Like Secret Invasion? Well, let's forget about the worst project ever in MCU. Like, we don't need to tie to that. So I'll say Young Avengers has a better chance, and I think it will. But like I said before, I think this Young Avengers should be a Disney Plus series or nothing at all, and wait on it and just put, as I said before, just put Kate and Miss Marvel in the Avengers main lineup. Like, drop the fucking Young Avengers thing. Because when we went over the characters like Scar and the twins and all these other people that were rumored for Young Avengers, like, man, like, I feel like there's other people like us that are hardcore, like, big MCU fans. They're like, I don't give a fuck about this. I will, but at the same point, it's just like, the audience will not just accept any comic book movie now, and I think Young Avengers and Armor Wars are two that they will not accept and easily choose to skip and catch that at home. So Taylor Field, I throw it to you.
I mean, I'm excited for Armor Wars. I love me some
Justin Hammer is supposed to come back, right?
Yeah, Justin Hammer, some suits.
Yeah, you love.
I mean, let's see it happen.
But what do you think has a better chance of happening? Like, legit, not fanfare. Like, because both of them have had like stops and starts. There's no directors. They're rumored movies, but they don't. Like, Armor Wars has been announced, never been given a date. By the way, never been. Blade's been given 5 dates. Armor Wars, not a single fucking date.
Then I'd put Armor Wars at the forefront then, because they know what they're dealing with, and they're not committing to a date because they know, okay, we got to keep working at this.
All right. Okay, that's fair. So we'll see. And any thoughts on Westball or Peele? Kirk didn't really talk about that, but that's okay. His time's up.
Man, let's play ball. Let's fucking do it. I'm there.
Oh, nice. There you go. Superbad Mike says, will he even have time for Zelda on his plate? I think this is just a rumor. It's like a C-tier rumor, so I threw it in there for fun. I personally, I don't know what the money situation is like, so that takes everything out, and what people are motivated by, we don't know. If on the board you could direct Young Avengers or Zelda, I'm going to ask these guys. Kirkland, what do you think? The easy answer, what do you pick? You're Westball, you're coming off Apes, you only have a slot for one. Young Avengers or Zelda, what do you pick? What's the better move for your career?
Zelda.
Okay, Taylor, what do you think?
I'd pick Zelda for sure.
You both are absolutely fucking right, because there's not been a live action Zelda. So if you nail it, you're really made. The flip side of that is, if you fuck it,
You're the one that ruined Zelda.
Yes. where if you just make a bad Marvel movie, people have made bad Marvel movies before. If you fuck up Zelda, that's like a director's jail thing. So there is more risk in Zelda, but that is a high risk, high reward. If you get to be the guy that cracks the code on Zelda.
He needs that deal where he gets the rights after 20 years to just Zelda.
Yeah, with Nintendo.
I get the Zelda rights. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you can have like the bloopers rights, so that's about it. But yeah, I that's why I would like to pick. That's cool. I just don't think it's gonna happen, because if Zelda, I think the rumor is he's doing the second Apes film. It sounds like he might not do all 3 of them. So if he does the second Apes and then he's on a Zelda, I don't know where he'd fit in Young Avengers. And if it comes down to a choose situation, I liked Kingdom, so now I'm happy with him doing Zelda. So I would think that's why I just can't believe this rumor yet, because unless Nintendo's deciding not to do Zelda, you do Zelda. Like that's the play. Because if you pull it off, you're a legend. And I'll go, and then these two can talk about a bit. Oh no, I don't need to go. I already said it. I get it. It's tough because Peele is easily going to be a guy that's going to come in and he's not going to fuck around and you're not going to tell him what to do. And Marvel might not like that. There's certain things they want to go to. And that's the thing where God Loves Me 69 said, like, what would be your ideal origin story for Peele to cover? It sounds like a cop-out answer, and I'll go because like these guys haven't read the comics as much. Because yeah, you could do like the classic with Charles, which just like they're the X-Men. You could do the '90s where they're more rugged and renegades, which I think you could go to. You could do Astonishing X-Men where it's this like new roster and you deal with the Cure. You could deal like someone '97. You could deal with Ultimate X-Men, which I don't think is the route to go. I actually think Krakoa X-Men would be the best route. I'm somebody that's a massive fan of the Krakoa X-Men era. I've not read it all. I was waiting for it to end, and now I'm going to finish it. But I read like the most of the Upstart to it, and that's the one where I've talked about before, where they just go off and live on their own kind of country, but it's like you can't enter unless you're immune. Like you physically can't get in there, and it's very trippy, and they get to hide out. That's the comic where Scott, Jean, and Logan are a throuple, and they just share a room together. Like they do a lot of different takes in there. That to me would be what Peele would do, or just something. And that's where my cop-out answer is, what origin would they do? I think Peele wouldn't even look to the comics. He would want to do something that has some comic books in there, but something that is original and unique to him. I don't think it's going to be, you want to do this. So unless his pitch was like awful, we don't know. As Feige and everything, to me, the X-Men have to get it right. I would have bent over backwards to get a guy like Peele directing X-Men. I think that is a home run scenario, a guy that I trust. I think it's going to have great meaning. It's going to have great political meaning. It's going to be a great movie. So for me, it's like in this multiverse or whatever, this universe where we went from them talking to Peele to the guy that wrote Assassin's Creed, man, that fucking sucks. And maybe he'll come back because maybe he is just in talks with other studios. But I think Peele with X-Men would have been something really special, and I hope it somehow still happens. Kirkland, where are you on those rumors of Peele and X-Men? Obviously, like I said, it had a meeting.
Yeah.
It didn't go forward, but at least they're meeting. And again, that could also mean for stuff down the line, right? It could even be, that's why Peele brought the Blade thing, right? Of like, hey, we have a slot for Blade. Come in here. We'd like to hear your pitch or what you'd want to do with it, right? Like, the fact that they're talking is a sign of like, okay, that door is like, it's open a little bit unless the meeting went terrible, which I doubt. I don't think Peele and Feige sat down even they disagreed. I don't take them as guys who were like, well, fuck you, and then they slam the doors. Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the type of like news that I feel kind of surprised of hearing. Like I just feel like he's making such unique and like original type movies, and I think you can do that like with a property like a comic book movie, specifically Marvel and the MCU. But it's just not, it wouldn't have been my first guess, like, at all. So hearing that is kind of exciting, and just, we live in the world that could happen, and I love just thinking about what an X-Men Jordan Peele movie would look like, and, like, how different that would feel from the other movies, and I only think it would be a positive result. Maybe I'm putting my defenses low.
I think it would be
for its disappointment, but
well, no, I think it would be positive, but I also think the only risk is it could be like Last Jedi positive, where some people would go like, "No, my X-Men, like this is too like X, Y, and Z," right? But I think we, for the most part, would be enjoying of it. But I could see some people, and I was just looking up the box office of the last few movies to see, like, I guess the reason could be like Get Out made $255 million. Us made $250 million, and then Nope had a not a big decline, but $170 million. So it also could, like, I'm not trying to paint the guy in a bad picture, but it also could just be like, hey, go do a movie, get a big paycheck, and then you can go do those stuff that might not be guaranteed big hits, right? Because even Get Out, which is like, I look at it as a film that's like a huge culture change, like only 250, like that's like. That's a pretty low for a movie that I consider very popular, right? I'm not saying that's bad because the budget was low, but it's not like a massive hit. It's like when we talk about the Furiosa or the Fury Road movie, where it's like a hit, but it's not like a massive hit the way we think of it. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the idea. I don't know. Like I don't think I would make a bet on like this is definitely gonna happen. Just like these pairings. If you wanted me to like list for doing the BS meter, I feel like I'm over 50, but like pretty low, and I think him just having these talks is kind of exciting because it wouldn't necessarily mean it would have to be X-Men or what was the other one? Fantastic Four? Is that what it was?
no, that's all locked. We were talking about Blade.
Blade? What?
Where are you right now? What are you talking about?
Where am I right now? No, because X-Men is the rumor for his.
Yeah.
directorial,
Yeah.
and then
I don't know where F4 came in. They got
I
writers,
don't know where
directors.
F4 came in either.
Yeah.
It just happened. I
That's
don't know.
somewhere
Someone
else.
take the baton from me.
Yeah, and all the game. Yeah, I'm not saying Get Out cost 4.5 million. Not saying it wasn't a success. No, absolutely. I'm just saying that it feels bigger than it actually was, as far as I feel like the way it took over culture, but it is still just like 250 million, like not a massive movie, right? For just like that price, but for profit, absolutely, fucking great profit and everything. So, and the other thing too with this, it also just makes me wonder if he is taking meetings, because I wonder, because he's worked with them before. I wonder if he met for that Jurassic World movie, if he was like, Universal would be dumb not to meet with Jordan Peele for that. And I feel like he would have turned that down. And if he met with Marvel, I doubt it would happen, but like, you're not telling me James Gunn doesn't make a meeting with him at some point too? If you got Jordan Peele and he's willing to talk about IP stuff. Now it could have been specifically X-Men, but still, like, if I'm James Gunn, I'd take a meeting and be like, hey, is there anything here that interests you? And I feel like James Gunn is, as of right now, in the position to be a bit more offering and say like, hey, what do you want to do? And because we've seen some of that stuff before. So I don't know. I don't think this will happen, but I want it to somehow stumble back. Taylor, feel your thoughts before we move on. I see your fingers going.
I got nothing left to say. Just that I think I've already covered it, but I'd be excited if he jumps on to
Did you
a Marvel
cover it?
project.
I didn't hear you say anything about Peele and X-Men, so I was curious about you.
I thought I met
F4 is what we're talking about.
F4. Yeah. No, I mean I'm happy for it. If it happens, I'm totally excited for it.
Let's get out of this fucking conundrum here. Yeah, let's take our next break. We'll be right back with some DC rumors. So here we go. All right, we are back, Mr. Anti-Idiotic. There's a mouthful there. I really want Kitty Pryde to be Tom Holland's Spidey's new girlfriend in the MCU. That'd be tons of fun. I would love it if they were the same age. I think, unfortunately, we've talked about before, I think he'll find his way back to MJ. But and I think, I don't actually know. I know in the comics at some point Kitty Pryde and Star-Lord were married, but we've always said this, that they don't do enough. Like when we did Comic Virgins and you have so much of the heroes swapping and dating other people, they do not do enough of that in the movies, especially now they have TV shows. That would have been the perfect time. Like just even stuff like Daredevil and She-Hulk hooking up, like more stuff like that. So I think that would be a very fun way to get Peter in with the X-Men, of Kitty Pryde maybe starts his high school, she goes somewhere else, but I don't think they would. But I'd be very much down with Kitty Pryde and Peter Parker being together for a little bit, you know?
I'm down.
Yeah. I got some DC rumors and news here. So Ben Barnes this is serious stuff, rumored to be playing the DCU Batman. You guys can look that up if you don't know who he is. Alden Ehrenreich as Hal Jordan for Green Lantern. Then we got news that Penguin is going to be coming out in September, and then Creature Commandos is coming out in December. And then it was a wild week of different scoopers. One scooper coming out saying, hey, you know what I've heard? And they're all C-tier scoopers, but you know what I've heard? And they've gone stuff right, but still, you know what I've heard is Batman shooting part 2 and 3 back to back. And then James Gunn gets on his threads and says, let's talk about threads this week. He gets on his threads and he's like, oh, nope, that's not happening. Of course not. Or he said, that's not the plan or something like that. And then there was another rumor that it was just getting canceled. It's going to get delayed, just got canceled. And then for that, he said, of course not. So a lot of scuttlebutt, the GV scuttlebutt, but the status of it. And I want to bring this up more because it is a C-tier people, and it literally could just be happening, right? Like it could just be the Batman movie. But Taylor, I'm going to start with you. You can talk about that other DC news as well, but to start with the Batman, I want to get your percentage of how confident or not confident are you that we will get the Batman Part 2?
I'm confident that we're going to get it, but a part of me really feels like James Gunn does not care about it. I don't think it's his priority. I think he got put into this position now, and he wants to.
I doubt it's his priority. That for
it's
sure.
definitely not his priority.
Hopefully, directing Superman's his priority.
Because look, yeah. Well, that's just it. Look at everything else that he's put up on that DC slate, right? You have animated projects. You got Peacemaker. You've got Superman. You got a whole bunch of different things that he's focusing on, and that's him. That those projects are all under his reign, his empire,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it. So those are his focuses. Now, when you look at the things that were pre-existing before he took over the reins here, again, you have Peacemaker, you have Suicide Squad. Well, he's not. I don't think he's going into the Suicide Squad stuff anymore. But you have Peacemaker, and he's keeping that up. Well, then there you go. And where's the Batman fit into this? It really doesn't. It's slowly making its way, but I just think this is a clear sign that he just it's not his creation. It's not something he was looking into. Like, I don't if I were to sit down with him, or maybe if I just have to tweet him, because he apparently tweets back to everything.
No,
I just have to
he
ask
threads.
him.
He threads. Yeah.
Threads. Yeah. So just have to see how things progress. But I really do believe that he's just not prioritizing it.
Wait,
And-
you didn't give me a percentage.
That it's releasing.
Yeah, part 2. Mike giving a big time percentage, 100%. He says, "Travis, relax, it's happening."
110, actually.
110.
More than 100.
Before I take it as a percent, as I think, Mike, you're right. As I've said before, if I got a gun to my head, I think it will happen. I think I want to get Taylor's percentage first, because I actually don't. I'll address it. I don't want to doctor his percentage. So, what's your percentage on part 2 happening?
That first one made like 3/4 of a billion. Like,
Almost 800 million. Yes.
yeah, 3/4 of a billion.
What a way to say it, but you're not wrong.
So like, it's gonna happen. I think whether James Gunn likes it or not, he's got a bunch of suits in an office, a bunch of investors looking at him and like telling him like, man, this needs to get done. And
It was a hit,
It was a
which
hit.
DC
and
hasn't
so-
had many of. So.
Yeah. So I think that just like Joker too, right? It's just another thing that's outside of his reign here, but that's coming out. And so I think you have those investors that are pushing him to that edge, or saying like, yeah, these projects, they need to get done, they need to get made. And he's like, okay, well, you know what? Obviously Joker was much more of a box office hit, so okay, we'll expedite, get that second one going, and then, well, you know, the
And that's
Batman,
probably
that was
it,
a hit
for
too.
Joker.
So
I don't like. I'm not gonna say
we're
for
not
sure.
getting another one, I don't think.
I won't go that far. I still think there's, like people said about 2. I still think there's always a chance. There's always a chance maybe you just get a Harley Quinn movie with, like, if this movie makes another billion, like how can James Gunn say like we shouldn't do, like, how can you pitch that to David Zaslav and all these people and say like, well, yeah, we really shouldn't do another Joker or Harley movie, because like
That's true.
But again, Kirkland, this man's like a fucking politician. Give me a number, sir. You've not given me a number. You keep just spinning your wheels here.
Trying to rectify certain
Run for
inequities.
Prime Minister of Canada. I would probably say, because it's definitely going to happen, but it's going to be very much a process to happen. So I'd probably go like 85-90% that it's going to
Okay.
happen.
It's definitely going to happen, but still 10% or not. Okay, let me hit you with this one, because this one has been announced. What is your percentage on us getting a part 3? Because remember, it's supposed to be a trilogy, right? So what's your percentage on us getting part 3?
I'm going to say
Oh,
It's
I heard
tricky.
A 3 there. I heard a TH.
I'm honestly going to probably go a 35% that it could happen. Now, am I
Mike,
going to...
same question to you, Mike. You said you're very confident in part 2. Tell me part 3. Continue,
Am I
Taylor.
putting all of my life savings on there, my retirement plan? Fuck no. I think that if this
Who knows?
part 2 is, like you said, if it hits that $1 billion mark, if it does $750 million, I think that we could yield some people pushing James Gunn into like, hey, we need to get another one of these rolled out promptly, because it's a moneymaker and people
Yeah.
like this. So I think that 35% could easily change and go up to like a 95% if the Batman Part 2 is a huge success.
Some question before I get to Kirkland here. Only very confident, but it feels like Gunn's worried about his DCU Batman. I don't know about worried, because they're still not running, but it is like an awkward thing of you do have to pick eventually, right? And it'd be different if we're at the end of the trilogy, but we're in the middle of it. So it is the thing of like you have one more movie coming out, and then you still have an additional one if that's the plan, right? So let's see. Has the Flash director quietly moved off DCU Batman after the Flash flopped? That's been like low tier scuttlebutt. I think as of right now, it's still the plan, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. But I think that's still the plan. So Reeves would have to film 2 and 3 back to back, and I wish that rumor was true, because that to me was like the guarantee of 1, they would come out a lot quicker, and 2, it just would be guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, right? Because they filmed fucking Batgirl, and we are not seeing that. So nothing's guaranteed over at Warner Brothers, but it would be a lot more likely if they got behind the camera. So, and Superman Mike says he's a 75%, could change depending on both Part 2 and Superman do, and that's where I am too. For me, I think that. I'm not going to say 100% part 2 happening, but I am 95%, but the percent always lessens a little bit as further we go, just because it's just like where the fuck is this movie already? Like, let's get cracking. And I know the strike did happen and whatnot. I think part 3, that's the one I'm not confident on, because I think if we live in a world where the Batman Part 2 and Superman do very close to each other, or if Superman even does better, I think there's a conversation James Gunn could say, hey, this Batman Part 3 could hurt our brand. The Superman did really well. I could give you a Batman movie like this that's going to go on to do Justice League and make multiple movies. And I don't know. I could be completely wrong. If Gunn lets Batman 2 and 3 happen, he's going to have my support 100% no matter what happens in the future. Because it's like, I won't say a man of his word, but like, I like that he let them see that through, right? And I do like he did say, oh, we're going to do Elseworlds. Like, here's your pivot. Here's your reason to do Elseworlds. Like, here's your proof in the pudding. Now show us. So, as I've said before, it's not that I won't watch them. I'm not going to be like, I'll never watch those movies. But if those movies don't happen, I like my excitement for Gunn and what he's doing just takes a fucking nosedive. But so I'll say I'm a 95 on the Batman Part 1 with a very hard worry on that 5%. And I think I'm with you, Mike. I'll drop a little bit to 70%, but then again, ask me in 2026 after everything happens. Because that's the other thing, too, with this movie, they keep going. Like, if it gets delayed again, I just wonder, too, like, does that help or hurt it? Does that anticipation build it? Or by the time we get the Batman Part 2, the people go like, I don't care anymore. Like, it was way too long. You had my attention. I wanted to see a follow-up. Luckily, they do have Penguin right now, right? And that's going to be connected to the world. That's coming out this year. So that is like a good kind of appetizer. So that does help. And I think Pattinson will be in that show. But that movie, it's going to be like, what? It came out 2022. So 4 years at 2026 happens, you know?
I think, too, that if there is the issue of James Gunn trying to introduce his own Batman for his own James Gunn DC
well, he is.
universe.
Remember? The movie's announced already, right? Has a director.
I think that should be by the time you get that out, you should have the Batman trilogy done, right?
No,
and obviously, like you said, the strike and everything going off. Like if he is worried though, and he just wants to have the spotlight focused on his Batman and his universe that he's creating, and you have another Batman here, I just feel like he should.
There's no way. I just think about this. If Batman 2 comes out in 2026, when do you think Batman 3 would come out? Like, probably not for another 3 years.
That's the thing. I feel like it's coming out in 2026 because James Gunn's probably. I'm not saying he's intentionally making problems.
Okay.
He goes on set, like kicks a can of paint. Like,
there's no set. There's no set yet. There's not even a set. Okay, but my problem is my issue to you is Part 3 though. Then, because that's not going to come out soon. That would mean like 2026. Part 2 comes out, and then you have, I would say, at least 3 years. So you're telling me James Gunn's not going to make a Batman movie till 2029?
Well, how long do you need to make a movie here? How long did they
4
take
years
to make...
for the Batman.
4 years for the Bat. Well, I mean,
no, for the sequel. So for the
2022, you said, right? Was
they were shooting in COVID. I think COVID was tough, right? Because a lot of stuff got shut down. So it's not a good comparison, right? Because we didn't get an apt like. They were shooting the Batman. COVID happened. They shut down. Then they went back. Pattinson got COVID. They shut down again. So, like, we don't have a full-on thing. To help you with something, I guess, like, all the Nolan movies were 3 years apart. Which we're already going longer because it's going to be 4 years. So.
Yeah, and when you take COVID and you second the strikes, then it does delay it a lot.
So, like, James Gunn, you're saying James Gunn can't put out a Batman movie minimum to 2030? Like, that doesn't seem right.
No, he can,
right?
but I part of me does feel like he's just going to have some kind of resentment, the fact that, hey, this is...
Remember the Batmobile drama shut it down as well?
Right, they're having sex on it.
Oh, Matt Reeves is pissed talking about kicking paint cans around.
I just feel like it's like I said, it's not his priority, and to have two Batman projects where he's got this other one that wasn't under his umbrella, and you got the other one, separated on set, Pattinson and Reeves,
yeah, tough times, you know.
Do you want me to go in the Barnes or do it after?
No, I'll ask Kirkland. Yeah, I guess Rises did take 4 years. I forgot about that. Which is funny because Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man 3 also was longer than they planned. So it's always that trilogy one. Yeah, because I guess what? Dark Knight came 2008. So yeah, there's 4 years there. So Kirkland, are you still confident we're getting Batman 2?
I'm very confident. I'm in the high 95.
High 95, okay. Yeah. Not the low 95 range?
No, I think on the higher end.
Okay.
Teetering between 96 and 95. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
For part 2, are they filming back to back? Because if not, I'm gonna say like
Gunn says no.
55%.
Yeah, Gunn said no.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a super critical hit. Makes a shit ton of money. It's hard to not make.
$750
It's hard to not make that movie. So, and I have high confidence that it would do really well. I don't know skyrocket numbers, but like I think it would be very, very well looked at for the numbers wise, at least.
Do you think it would do on par with the first one, which was the $750 million, or better?
I think it'll be close. I would be surprised if
Which
it beats
way?
it.
Which
I'd be surprised
okay,
if
so
it beats it. So
close, lower though. Okay.
Yeah, slightly lower. But like, even if it's close, like I think that's acceptable. That's a really nice number to get to.
And I guess it depends who the villain is, because like it's funny where we were in 2021 opposed to now. Like I don't think he's the main villain, but I think he'd be in advertising. Like Barry
Ollie in there.
Well, yeah, all like think about Barry Keoghan before the Batman and now. Like he's a huge, like a much bigger star like that. He's in fucking Sabrina Carpenter's like music videos and everything.
Exactly.
Like that does help a little bit. So again, we don't even know the actors and villains involved, right? We're just going off on a whim here. So okay. Kirkland, you got any thoughts on these? The dates obviously not much there. That's just update the people that Penguin, which is good. We got dates for. We don't got like the official dates, but Penguin and Creature coming out this year confirmed. And what are those castings? Could you see? Yeah, it's exciting. Then other
castings.
Stuff? I cut you off twice there. Those rumors of the castings of the DCU Batman. We're talking about James Gunn's Batman. Ben Barnes. Did you ever see the Prince Caspian or whatever the fuck his name was? And
I never saw Prince
So
Caspian.
good.
No.
You're dead on. When you said his name, I heard it as Brent Barnes, and it's like some rugby player in New Zealand. So
Yeah,
I was like, this
top
probably
choice.
isn't the guy, but I think it's fine. He looks handsome. He looks like he'll. Fit
I don't
the
believe this,
shoes
by the
of
way. It's just a
character.
rumor. It's just a C tier rumor, but I'm just throwing it out there.
It happens. I mean, it's no Chunk, right? What's that guy from the Goonies?
Chunk?
Is that his name? Chunk?
Yeah, not Chunk.
Chunk. One of those.
Yeah. What about Alden Ehrenreich, Mr. Han Solo as Hal Jordan the Green Lantern?
What was he in recently? It was more serious
Oppenheimer.
role. Oppenheimer. Okay.
And Fair Play, which you haven't seen, but very good.
Still top of Shay's and I list. You know, you're listing you and Emily's thing where it's like, I'm waiting, but like I know I'll get in shit if I watch this without her. So I'm excited to see it. She's got, that actress in Bridgerton
Phoebe
right
Denevor
now.
or whatever.
New part coming out tomorrow, so she's excited for that. But
she's not in it though. So.
yeah, I forgot about that. Back to Alden.
Yep.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I want to see him in more.
That's
I don't want to just think of Solo when I think of that guy. Like I think he's better than that.
So because
how is he in Fair Play? Is he like thumbs up?
He's really good. He's really good at playing like a piece of shit type of guy. So
Taylor sees it coming.
You motherfuckers.
No, he's a really good guy playing like a very toxic, wimpy male. And that's my pitch of why I don't think this is true. Because I feel like Oppenheimer Fair Play, he is finally starting to get out of that, hey, you were part of that solo bomb movie. Does he want to go back to like a superhero big genre thing? Like maybe he does. Of course, the money's always good. But I feel like he's on a good path where I'd be like, maybe stay away from that. I guess he was in Cocaine Bear. I completely forgot he was. Yeah, that movie was forgettable for me. So I think stay away from that. And like Ben Barnes' Batman, like I'm down with it. Sure, I like Ben Barnes enough. For me, I've said this before. I have an unfortunate skewing with the Brave and the Bold movie. It's not that I don't care. I always take more Batman. I love Batman, and I love the idea of Batman and Robin. But for me, it's just like I already have the perfect Batman going on. I don't know if Pattinson is my best Batman, but he's definitely, if I get that trilogy, I'll be able to, make that. I right now it's him or Bale. I could make a case for Pattinson, right? So for me, it's like, I don't think Ben Barnes would blow off my socks, but I don't really need him to, because like if the Batman series does continue, I have my Batman, and you can kind of go get whoever you want for the DCU one. So that one feels more believable than the Alden Ehrenreich thing, but I don't know. So both and Alden, like he'd be good at Hal Jordan. I think he would do a fine job. I could see him with the mask and everything. It's just like, does he want to do that after, like you said, he's finally starting to not be thought of as Han Solo, which I thought was a big mistake. I don't think it did anything for his career, but isn't DCU Batman meant to be older because he is Robin? How old's Ben Barnes? Isn't he like in his 40s? Like,
He's 42.
yeah, that's an older Batman to me. Like Ben Affleck was that like you can have a fucking kid at the age of 16. So like what? He's in fucking wherever Ra's al Ghul is. Him and Talia are on the patio having a good time. You know, they're hanging out. Superman lands to come check on them, and he's just wondering what's going on. And oh man, we don't. Oh, we do. And as Superman's getting his suit on, he just looks over, and Batman and Talia are just producing Damien. Like it's a 60. Like the kid's like what 16 years old. He has the kid at 20. That makes him 36. Like that. Then to me, it's like anyone that's like really 35 and above, I think is fine because you can age them up. Same thing as Affleck. They aged him up to be like an older Batman, right? But he wasn't. He had like the gray hair and everything. So I think Ben would be older. And I think Pattinson's also about to be 40, but they're portraying him as like a younger Batman. So we live in there. But Taylor, what are your thoughts on these rumor castings?
I mean, Ben Barnes, yeah. Prince Caspian's great. Voyage Dawn Treader, not so much, but I like Prince Caspian. Those Narnia movies are solid. Seventh Son, I haven't seen in a long time, but I own that. I'll have to go back and check that one out.
What the fuck is Seventh Son? You shout that out like me and Kirkland love it. Like, oh yeah, so what is that?
You don't know Seventh
Never
Son?
heard of
It's
that.
got Jeff Bridges, Julianne Moore,
Oh no! Now
Kit
I
Harington's
do.
in it, like stacked cast.
He was a massive bomb, wasn't it?
It was
Oh
a
my-
bomb, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
2014.
Yeah, that
Wow,
one didn't take
never-
off.
Never heard of this.
Oh, it was a bomb and a massive budget, 95 to 110, box office 114. So it made its production budget back. But I've heard that movie was awful, Seventh Son. But you liked it.
I have to rewatch it because it's been a
okay.
long time, but I liked it enough to have bought it, so we'll see.
Jesus.
I know. Stardust, though, that's another Ben Barnes one that I really, really
Right,
do like.
yeah.
That one's a good one. Michelle
Alicia
Pfeiffer.
I
Vikander
know.
in there. That's crazy.
Vikander, yeah.
Seventh
So-
Son's rocking a 2 out of 5 on the letterbox. So, and I got no one that's seen it. So it's time for you to grade it.
That's
worse
interesting.
Aragorn.
A worse Aragon. That's interesting comparison.
Jaimin Hunsu's in
Aragorn
there
good?
too?
Was Aragon good back in the day?
No.
I know the book was like
No,
popular, but
people really didn't like it. Madison likes it. She puts it on every now and again.
Jaimin Hunsu's in Seventh Son
He
as
was in
well.
oh,
Seventh Son,
Jamin
yeah.
Hansu, he probably plays a very similar character that he plays in everything.
So Ben Barnes as a Bruce Wayne, I'm there for it. He can keep the accent. That's okay with me.
The British does he have a British accent, right?
He's born in London, so
Well, no, he can't
London,
keep the
Ontario.
accent.
why not?
Batman's
his own
from
take.
America.
Well, James Gunn, he can change it up, right?
That's that to
Want to be
separate
different from the American.
Do like a gaslight Batman style.
And what about your boy Solo being a Lantern? Would you be down for that, Hal Jordan?
You know, make Solo 2 happen. I'm there for it.
Alden
Alden Einhleck, I think he's fantastic.
I don't know if he wants it said that way, but
A little too German.
I just imagine Taylor's like some Hollywood interview, and every time he sees him on the red carpet, I'm like, "Fuck, I don't want to talk."
Alden Einhleck, smile for the camera.
He's like, "Oh fuck, man, I don't like this." Oh Jesus, yeah.
I'm absolutely there for him, though. I'd love to see him as a Green Lantern. It's been a while since we have the Lantern on screen, so let's do it.
2011. It's been a long time. That was supposed to be the original kickoff to the DC universe, and then that failed, and they did Man of Steel, and that, I won't say fail, but just started with a questionable start, and then here we are again, take 3.
We've had Green Lanterns on screen since, right? Like didn't
Right,
Justice
they
League
did.
was
Yeah,
we had
when
multiple.
Darkseid killed one, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they did. And then Snyder tried to get a Green Lantern in the finale, right? Remember? But they wouldn't let him, so that's why Manhunter's in there.
Why wouldn't they let him?
They had the quote was they had plans for him.
Really? And what are those plans? Where'd that go?
Oh, is Sony making these plans? Like,
I think they just didn't want Zach to put a lantern in the movie. Like, I think because the shitty thing is, remember that was the one episode Yumi hosted Taylor for DC Alliance, was when those photos came out of the guy that he cast, and they shot the scene. Snyder has that scene somewhere, but they couldn't. He wasn't allowed to put lantern in the movie. So.
That's
probably
like
just
you,
watches it every night too. It's like, this could have been in my fucking movie.
Enerich, come watch this.
I feel like this is equivalent, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you really you're attracted to someone, and that someone is like, no, I'm saving myself for marriage, and you're like, okay, I'll wait, and then they go and they sleep with someone else. Is that it?
Kinda.
Okay.
It's kind of like, we're done with the DC news, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go.
Nothing else.
Tara, can you pull up that quote that you wanted to talk about on the cast? We should talk about at the beginning before we get into our last topics here with the random movie news.
Oh, yeah.
So Taylor got a message from somebody, and he said, "Explain this." And this person is quite questionable, I'll say. And they say many things that don't make sense. But to me, this actually made perfect sense. And I want the chat's opinion here. And then after we're gonna get to the film news, and we'll end this here. But
Taylor
yeah,
just pulls up the comment. With the guy's name.
full Facebook profile, everything. But yeah, say what the comment was.
Okay, hang on, I gotta find
It's like,
it.
what's
I
he
don't know
doing?
if
Why
you
is he
can
like
show it
hacking on his
visually,
computer?
though.
Why is he like hacking on his computer? What's he gonna bring up? You know?
Where the fuck is it? There it is.
You
Okay,
expose him. It doesn't matter. What's he gonna
No.
do? You're not gonna hurt his
Dock
career or
some
anything.
address on there.
Yeah.
70% of married women have a backup plan. Real
Okay,
stats.
stop there. Okay. Okay, because I want to break it down in parts. The second part of that, real stats. There's no such thing as real stats unless like you have them in a paper. Say that quote again.
70% of married women have a backup plan.
So they're saying that, let's say right now you and Madison are married. He's saying that 70% of people that are married, she has somebody like waiting in the wings. Like if it doesn't work out for Taylor, I got a guy waiting on the back burner. So he's saying 70% of women have
Fuck,
that.
she does. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that. And then do your second part of the quote.
90% of happily married men are that backup plan.
So that's saying that you are the backup plan. So that's saying, like, let's say Madison was with a guy, went, this isn't working out. Taylor's my backup plan. So it's like not the person they wanted to be with.
Weird example. Because you have
But-
married Madison, who's married to Taylor.
No,
Backup
no,
plan is
no.
Taylor.
Okay, let's say Madison was married previously, right?
Let's see
Is this her
Taylor's
second
married
marriage?
to his ex. for this. For this example, let's just use that.
No, it's not. No, because he said 90% of the men are the backup plan. So they're not choosing to be the backup plan. He's saying 90% of people that are married, which I disagree with that stat. I don't think that's a real stat. But he's saying 90% of the people that are married are, the rebound guy, as Zeke
But like
put there.
another married individual.
What do you mean other married? No, I don't think so, because I don't think they're combined statements. Can you say that last quote again, Taylor?
I clicked off of it. Where the fuck did it go?
I
I'm
know
bringing
about it
Madison
now.
down. I'm gonna ask her a question.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Let me
no.
just end the
90%
marriage.
of 90% of happily married men are that backup plan.
So that doesn't even have, the woman doesn't have to be married. It's just saying that let's say, fine, even I'll use Emily for example. I was not the guy she picked. I was the rebound or backup guy. So it's like, that's what he's saying is 90%
Yeah,
of
you're
men are
in
married.
this example.
Yes,
with another
but-
person.
I don't. Yeah, I suppose Let's Stream for Finance don't know what we're talking about. You'd have to scroll back a little bit, but yeah. So he's saying that 90% of men that are married weren't the woman's first choice.
90% of men that are married are not.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause the way I. Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
took it like 70% of all married women have a backup plan.
Yeah.
90%. This is confusing me as
No,
I
it's
say it out
not.
loud.
It's actually not.
90% of married men
Are the backup plan.
of all the pool of married men are
Are the backup plan. Yeah.
But we're
They're-
missing 20%.
Well, those are the people that aren't. Those are the people that you got married and they
I
were
don't
the
like
first
that
choice.
quote. I thought I got it, and then the more we dissect it, the more confusing it is.
It's completely easy. I don't understand. Oh God, is he gonna put his wife on spot and say, "Am I the backup plan? Am I the backup plan?" And then she'll say,
So Madison. So apparently this goes
She's gonna
okay.
say
So
his name. She's gonna say his name.
No, she won't. So 70% of married women have a backup plan, and then 90% of happily married men are the backup plan. So its meaning is that I'm your backup plan. I'm your rebound.
and then she also has a plan for the first quote.
And
She
that
has
you
a
have a plan. You have a first draft pick plan.
If Taylor doesn't work
So
out,
there's
I
two
don't work
plans. There's
because
two
there's one for
plans?
men and there's
But
one
it's
for
not
women.
true, right?
They're
I'm your
separate.
first pick, right?
So let's put him full screen. Yeah.
So he's saying
Yeah,
70%.
she's confident, yes.
yeah.
He's saying 70%
That's all.
of married females have a plan, and then
Yeah.
he's also talking about 90% of male men.
Yes. So they're saying
Are the
70% of
plan.
women that are married go, if this doesn't, like, they're already talking to somebody on the side. Let's say it's let's use us three's equation as the
So
women
90% of the male, though.
are the backup plan.
So if you were married, you were a backup plan, is what we're saying.
That's what he's saying.
90%.
Yeah, I'm in the 90. Like, not that this quote was about me, but he's saying like if I was
There's a
in the
reason
90%,
he didn't have real stats after the 90%. There's
Yeah.
no fucking way. That is
I don't
true.
believe that one. And I don't
Real
even think,
stats.
I don't even think
Close.
70% of women have a backup plan. I could, if you were to go 50, I could maybe get on board with that. I think that's even too high, but I could believe that.
Yeah.
I believe also that it's tough. Like, that's super tough because that idea of the 90%, the backup plan. I think there is probably tons of people that if you thought when you met someone you're going to marry them and then it was someone else, but I don't consider that like the backup plan. I consider that as like one relationship didn't work out. But everybody that I dated, it never was like, well, I hope this ends terribly, you know? It's like everybody is like, it's not a backup plan. I think he's literally saying they are like they're the rebound or other guy and they just jump to them and it's like, well, this marriage isn't working out, so I'm going to go to this person.
But as a follow-up,
Oh, is there?
were you a baby daddy?
What does that mean?
At least I'm not a baby daddy.
Oh,
Remember,
right.
there's the-
At least I'm not a baby dad.
You don't
Which
know
says-
what baby daddy means?
No, I didn't understand the context. He just said
Oh, okay.
he just said baby daddy, and I didn't know what Taylor meant. Which there's no percentage there, and I guess he's not a baby daddy, so good for him. But the quote made complete sense to me, so I'm happy all you got to sit down and go through the trauma we had to figure out this quote. But I understood it completely. I'd be sitting there with them, I'd get it completely %. So this is I agree, Super Mike. I think that he's saying married women are cheating and their husbands
70%?
are backup.
70% of married women are cheating.
Taylor got
They're
so
guilty
scared
of
there.
sin, like the Taylor
Well, that's
Swift
what
song.
this person's saying, as I've almost said their name twice. So we'll move on from the conversation. But and no one in the geek first.
We got to get
luckily,
this
don't
person
worry.
on cast to really have them.
Oh, I'd
explain.
love to, but there's a lot of risk with that one.
That's
That would
I
have
won't
to be a
on that
non-live.
That's a
cast, and then-
pre-recorded
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
episode.
highly edited.
Yeah.
Maybe on a Hunk on News, if you could guest on that.
Yeah, that's like fucking Trump going on the Logan Paul podcast. It's like, man, this is gonna be some questionable stuff. So, all right, let's take our last ad break, and then we're gonna be back with just some random news, talking about The Boys, Lord of the Rings, Blade Runner. So we'll be right back. And we are back. So, as usual, throw out a bunch of ones, and you guys talk about what you want to talk about. Boys has announced that it's going to be ending with season 5, which was kind of weird because they originally said, "Oh, we thought we were going past 5, and now they're not." So, we got that going on. War of the Rohirrim. They talked about some of the plot details, and more importantly, just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the first look in the animation style. Ian McKellen says that he could be back for The Hunt for Gollum. Now, he did say, the article said that he had heard Gandalf's in there. Ian could just be mistaken, but we're just taking him at his word of like, okay, Gandalf's in there, and he says he's waiting for the script, so we'll see. Blade Runner 2049 is going to star Michelle Yeoh and Hunter Schafer, says the rumors. I have to get what the plot was. I forgot to write that down. And then Bill Skarsgard is back and confirmed to be Pennywise for the Welcome to Derry HBO Max series about the It franchise that is coming out next year. So, Kirkland, what tickles your fancy there out of those stories? What do you want to talk about?
I was just quickly looking at the Rohirrim
saw
animation
it.
because I hadn't actually seen a lot of those images yet. But
Oh, and also, because when you get there, the plot synopsis for Blade Runner 2049 is, in Los Angeles 2099, Cora lived her entire life on the run, a chameleon forced to adopt numerous identities. To secure a stable future for her brother, she assumes one final identity and is forced to partner with Olwen, a replicant who's confronting the end of her life. So I don't know who's playing what. I'm guessing the end of her life, I would assume maybe Michelle Yeoh's playing that, because if it's like an older... maybe, but I don't know how replicants end, right? They could be young and still end, right? So I kind of thought the Hunter was going to be that, but that's your plot synopsis there. So
thanks for that synopsis. I'm going to counter with a possibly wild fact. I have not seen any Blade Runners ever.
okay, but does Hunter
So-
Schafer make that change
Yeah.
potentially?
It's positive news. It's one of those series where it's like I've been slowly pursuing it, like the It Follows guy, where I'm not sprinting after you, but like eventually I'll get it.
You're on the
I'm on the roof, just dick out, staring at Blade Runner right now. Oh, you missed it, Travis.
What did I miss? What happened?
Mike.
Your mic got unplugged. But I was saying how I'm Blade Runner's been one of those things I'm pursuing. Not like really intently, but like I'm like the It Follows guy. Like I will eventually get to it, but like I'm not sprinting after it. And then Taylor said I was on a roof staring at the Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, great.
So your mic is
Mike.
still awful, by the way. What was the other questions that he'd asked me? I was
Don't say
so
awful.
distracted by
War of the
It Follows.
Rohirrim, A Hunt
Yeah.
for Gollum, Bill Skarsgard.
Yeah, for Ian McKellen, I think that's totally fitting. If he's totally if he's willing to come back, I think that's really exciting because that's like having Gandalf in that story. I think totally makes sense. Like he and Aragorn were working together to kind of hunt down Gollum in those sequences. What's up, Travis? Now?
Viggo Morrison also just was asked. He said he would come back if the story's
Yeah.
right. And also, I just want you to clarify because you've actually never publicly shared your thoughts on if this is a good idea or not. Even to us, we've not talked about it. About the Hunt for Gollum.
I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. I like it. I think about like the Third Age and like especially the events of like the Lord of the Rings that we know with our Fellowship and Frodo and just the War for the Ring. I think it unlike Star Wars where we've just had so much content about those dark times, I don't think we've had a lot of content other than just like the trilogy. So I'm totally fine with getting more stories that kind of fill in some of these cracks. There's
We had
always
9
the
hours
potential.
worth of The Hobbit. you weren't there for that,
That's
but we
true.
were.
I chose not to do that, so you are correct. But I mean, even The Hobbit is distance from this, right? Like this is literally in the events of like the book of Fellowship of the Ring. So I think that would be. I'm totally fine with it. There's definitely the risk of it being a poorly told story, or maybe they want to change something from the source material, which I wouldn't advise, but sometimes that happens. I'm still okay to at least try it. And at the end, like worst case scenario, I don't like it. That's completely fine.
Ruins it.
I'm not
Ruins
gonna,
it all.
I'm not gonna lose sleep over that. But I like the idea. I like the rumors around it, and I feel like that's been kind of rare lately, where it's like I'm totally on board with all the things I'm hearing around it.
Yeah, because
Taylor,
you're a
were
big
you gonna
Rings
ask something?
power hater, so.
No, I passed that show. Taylor, were you gonna say something? You sounded like you were hiccuping or no? Okay.
He's just coming.
Yeah. War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, where'd Madison go? Where'd she go?
I
no, but
fucking
hang on.
love this animation. Sorry.
Yeah, hang on. Don't. I got more questions. So Ian, yeah, I think he can come back. He's gonna look older, but whatever. It's Gandalf. Do you think they can get Viggo back? They can make that work. I mean,
Yeah, it would
he's 20
be-
years older, and I feel like either he's gonna look a lot older, or they're gonna do the DH thing, which we know has a very 50-50 shot of working.
I don't think it's worth it for the amount of cost and potentially weirdness that it might appear to be. You know, like the de-aging. Just have a younger actor. Like I love Viggo.
Really?
I yeah. You disagree?
That's
Count.
because
Give me your thoughts.
you just don't do it, or you have him DH for a scene, a quick scene, and that's it. I don't think he can be a supporting character because I think it's weird if you have Ian back. It's clearly a prequel to the Jackson movies, but Viggo is a new actor. Like it's in the same time, so it's that thing of like. It's like that thing of why does Michael Fassbender look like a 40-year-old when he's playing a 70-year-old in those X-Men prequels, right? Like, is that thing of, I think you can get away with it with Ian already looking older, but with Viggo, I think if they cast someone younger, and this is like you said, the same time in the books, that's where it could be on.
Fair point. Who would be your protagonist of this story?
Well, you'd imagine it has to still be Gollum, right? And if not, it's Gandalf.
Oh, it's from Gollum. Okay.
You could. I'm not saying you
I
have
always
to,
assumed the hunt for Gollum was like Aragorn's story.
but
Because he was the one that was tracking Gollum, at least.
So I'm not saying you're
for
wrong.
What I'm thinking of.
Like, yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong from the
Do we have like a
stuff-
synopsis
story.
for this, or are we just kind of
No,
in the
they
blue?
didn't give us a synopsis.
Yeah,
They just
okay.
said it was Hunt for Gollum. But I think from a studio perspective, they might make it Gandalf or Gollum.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ian, like, you think that makes sense to just have Ian leading a show
No, it's a movie.
of movie? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think they gotta go full fucking banana sandwich and make it like 2.5 hours. Like I think the Hunt for Gollum could be a 2 hour, like a fine 2-hour movie. I don't think they got to go overboard. But yeah, he is older. But then if Gollum's the lead, then you got Andy Serkis, and I think he can still lead a movie somewhat. I don't know. It's just like I just worry if you recast Aragorn and it's in the same continuity, you're gonna get what we just talked about with Alden and Reich, that someone's gonna get cast and it's not gonna go well, and then it's just like tanks that guy's career for a bit. There you go. Have him wear a hood the whole time and just CGI his chin. Yeah, and the Vigo just does the voice. Taylor, where are you on that as far as like the Aragorn of it all? Would you recast him?
No.
Okay, what would you do?
DH.
You go DH. You go with the whole Mandalorian season 2 finale, Luke Skywalker thing.
Yep. I think that technology has reached a point now where it's pretty well refined. So I don't think he has to be like in it a lot.
He's breaking a toe in this movie. We know that's coming.
Yeah. For me, I always think about
the other one.
I always think about Fellowship when Gandalf was talking about he was trying to find Gollum and the enemy found him first. And so for me, having Gandalf involved in the story is much more important to me than Aragorn.
Because in the movies they never mention at all that Aragorn was also hunting for Gollum, right? So in that canon, you could not even have to have Aragorn in that story, or like I said, for a small appearance. But Kirkland, you're fully on the recast?
I think it's mostly just what I'm picturing is like an Aragorn hunt down story.
Yes. Have you ever watched a short film or the fan film?
No, I haven't.
You should watch that. And it was really good. And then they took it down, but then they put it back up. Warner Bros. Let them put it back up. But it is from Aragorn's perspective, and it is very good. So
cool.
There you go. We're all different.
Check that out.
We're all different perspectives. Because you're recast, Taylor's a DH, and I'm a cameo, like the minimum or maximum.
I think it's heavily dependent on like what I hear the synopsis is and what they're going for it. Because like maybe it's maybe it's a handful of Rangers, right? And then like it's various characters that are involved for the hunt, and then you have Vigo for a couple sequences, because his voice is still as silvery as it's ever been.
Have him cloaked.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. I mean, when you have Strider in the prancing pony, like Vigo could look pretty similar to that, right? Like hood up.
Yeah, I agree.
So I definitely could see it happening. I think it's just because I was so caught on this being like a Aragorn, like we're following him the entire adventure. That's where it's just like I can't really see them doing Vigo for that, even if we can DH him. Yeah. So,
I still think he could do it. I just think it's that thing of like he's aged 20 years. You're going to look different and it's going to look odd, right? But I still think he could pull it off. That's why I don't want them to maybe do sequels, but I still think like he could play like an older Aragorn if something came up, but I don't think we're going to happen.
There's something just also special about the idea of having Ian, Andy Serkis, and Vigo back for like another Lord of the Rings tale. Like all
and
these
Jackson's
years
there
later.
too. He's producing and he's like all there.
Chills.
Yeah, chills. Yeah.
Chills right there.
But this is also coming from a guy who didn't see the prequels, because that Kirkland, that combo you want, Serkis, Ian, Jackson, you got 3 movies of that combo. It's right
the
there.
Hobbit?
And actually, and Orlando Bloom as well too, and Ian Holm, Elijah Wood, they're all there.
You're reminding me about the love triangle that we have amongst those elves.
Oh, fuck the fucking.
I haven't even
dwarf.
seen them, but I just know about it, and I shake my head at that. But one day, I'm sure I'll probably see that.
Have to.
I think I pitched this before, but Kirkland, what do you think if the hunt for Gollum was really just the orcs just hunting for Gollum?
Your protagonist is an orc, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like that if it's both, maybe like the good side and the orc side hunting for Gollum. I think that's fun. But
you don't want to just follow Slit the orc.
I don't. I don't want to follow Nox and Slit. No.
Taylor pitched that when we originally talked about this story.
Maybe one day, but not.
I think
this
Dylan liked what you're putting down, but I think it was just like I just thought that's a tough pitch to be a hit movie as you're following the orcs.
What if it followed the ring wraiths going after?
Oh yeah. No. Scrap all that and just give me like the War of the North movie, wherein it's just the Witch King destroying Agmar and.
You gotta start. You gotta start small.
I know you gotta start
Hunter
small,
Gollum,
but he said the Nazgul, and I just got giddy right away. I think there's juice there though with the orc side that you're listing off, Taylor. I wouldn't write you off right away. So yeah.
he's whatever Kirkland was saying earlier. He's shaking his juice or juicing his shake or whatever.
Drinking my Young Avengers
Yeah.
smoothie. Whatever.
Or
the
further
hell I-
hear him. You're liking that style, eh?
Oh, the animation. I absolutely love it. It's like the Castlevania style that the Netflix show did. It's like, the way I describe it, it reminds me of like kind of 90s style animation with like a modern edge on it, where like the shading is like really crisp and clean, and you can tell like it's digital. It's not like it was just hand drawn like some of the older anime styles are. But I don't know. I think it's just the way that the colors pop. It's really nostalgic for me. Like, I just remember watching like those early 90s animation style. I think that's why whenever I see something similar to it, I just kind of like it. And it's part of me was like a little bit worried they might be doing like a somewhat 3D animation, which I don't think that's necessarily terrible, but more often than not, I think the 3D one takes me out of it slightly. So I am happy to just kind of see it more of a 2D style. And yeah, I just like the color pops. I like the like the facial features that they have on the art that the artist did for the characters. They look yeah, sharp and rugged, and just how I would imagine an animated Rohan character looking. So I'm a big fan of that art style, and just the still images I was looking at. It's getting me excited. I'm very excited for that new content drop this December, right?
This December, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be missing that one, unfortunately, but
You will be?
you will be. If
Why?
all goes well.
I'll be missing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I just have a feeling
Yeah,
you're
okay.
gonna break your knees around those times in the early December
Jesus
slot.
Christ.
Watch out, buddy. That's your first threat.
Just fucking walking down the street and just yeah, you check out the originals for more info there. Yeah.
Dropping some Easter eggs on this cast.
Yeah, there's a lot
Various
of
quotes of a character that we're not going to name. Twice
Yeah.
now I mentioned some about
this is
Travis.
the prequel to the 2025 episode. You'll get all your answers on the GeekVerse day. God damn. Let's see.
Last one I don't have anything to say on. It was
You're not checking out the Pennywise series or the Welcome to Derry?
like maybe. I don't know.
That's a no right there.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have it confirmed because there was talks of Pennywise being in it. I just feel like in this generation, if you're doing Pennywise and it's relatively around the other movies, and I think it is a prequel, though, is like you go get Bill. Bill was great. He's fantastic. So I'm excited he's come back for whatever amount it is. Blade Runner, that gets me really excited, but just like even if I didn't know the synopsis, just saying Michelle Yeoh and Hunter Schafer's in that right away. That's two actors that I both like a lot. I want to see them interact. I like that it's on Amazon because we know we're gonna get that budget. So I just want to be in that Blade Runner world. So I'm excited we're getting more details, plot, and I think they'll be shooting that soon. So I'm ready for more, especially after 2049. I thought that was it. After that movie bombed, like, oh, that's never happening again. So that's great. War of the Rohirrim, I'm like, I like the details of the movie. It's rumored to be around 2.5 hours. So you got that. It's like a girthy movie. I was the opposite of Kirkland. Like, I don't like love that animation, but I was also I just disappointed because I guess I was just expecting something just different and not just like, oh, I've seen this a bunch. And not that it's bad, because I'm not saying 2D animation is bad. I think it does have like a you were right, the Castlevania, like almost anime edge to it. And, you know, I feel that's more of a you thing than I am as far as style. So I wasn't like blown away. I liked the coloring of it, but I wasn't blown away. So I was like a little disappointed of, okay, it kind of just looks like what I thought it might look like. I don't know why. I'm not saying I wanted to be Spider-Verse, but I just wanted to have like its own distinct style in a way where, oh, that is this. But I think just because it is just a one-off and stuff, it's not going to be that. But I am excited to see it. I will see it in December. If not December, I'll see it at some point. But I am excited just that there's more Lord of the Rings content that's not just the main trilogy, which is great because, you know, sometimes it can be great, and I think Rings of Power sometimes great and can be bad like The Hobbit, but whatever, I'm happy it's out there. So yeah, I'm curious to see. There was another point that I wanted to shout out with this one, but I can't. It's lost me. Oh, that was the thing I was gonna say. I think we all did a little bit, but like when we saw that first trailer for X-Men '97, I was worried about the animation. But then once I saw the show, that all went away and it was great. So the same thing of here. I'm
Right.
not saying this animation looks bad. I just go, oh, okay, this looks like something I would have expected, but maybe once I'm seeing this all emotion, everything, the battles, it'll completely work, right? So that's why I'm not judging it. This wasn't like I'm bummed because it just looks like something that I have seen many times and it's not too unique. I'll wait till it's moving around. So
I'm really hoping those action sequences just really blow my mind.
well, they have to. It's called the
they
Battle
always
for
have-
Rohirrim, right? Or the War
Anime
for
always
Rohirrim.
has just the most fucking banger clashes in my mind, like the big epic action sequences, and Lord of the Rings already has that with the live action moments. So you got the anime swing on it. Give me some good juice, smoothie juice.
Yeah, and then the Hunt for Gollum, I kind of gave my thoughts when Kirkland was talking. I'm always down for him to be Gandalf. Hopefully they don't put him in a room with a bunch of fucking CGI tennis balls again and have this man have a nervous breakdown. Like, let's not do that. But
He's had one already of those on a Lord of the Rings set.
God damn it, Peter. Yeah, I don't. Again, they've been cool. Like, it just got announced, so they don't have to be. But I'm like Kirkland, where just in general, I want to hear the synopsis for that because that will tell me everything about where they're going, what they're doing, etc. And again, that's another one. I'm just curious if it does happen to go through. Like, what is the success rate on that one? I think that is smart. I guess if you're doing Gollum, which is a very popular character, and you get Ian back, and if you even find a way to get Viggo back and promote it, maybe they even get Liv Tyler back. I don't know. Like, I think that is smart, and that is a good way to create a hit. I don't know how much you can sustain that, and I don't want to be, like you said, Kirkland, we haven't got that much about that era, but at the same time, I don't want to also just become Lord of the Rings is the dark times, and everything is set around the Fellowship timeline, right?
He already
Like,
Rings of Power, right? So
yeah,
you can't-
and that's not Warner Brothers, right? That's a different studio. So and they have the rights to that. They don't have so that's my worry of, like, is Warner Brothers, because they got the rights to those films, like, well, we got to make them, like The Hobbit, everything has to be really alluding to the Fellowship, and we got to do this and that. So that's what I hope there's like a Witch King War movie or something. But do they have that mindset, or do they just have the mindset of let's use the actors we have and make a hit? And hopefully it's good. Taylor, your thoughts on any of this?
Fuck. I mean, I think the animation is great. I'm excited for it. I have no cons with that whatsoever. I think that it's a unique, fresh take, and I think this is going to tap into a community of individuals too that might not just subscribe to, maybe live action stuff all the time. Like, you're tapping into the anime fan base a little bit, and I think that's great. So you're going to be able to market this to a variety of different groups, which is fantastic. What was the other question?
There's lots. There's there's the
Gollum,
Hunt for Gollum.
Talked about
Pennywise.
that.
Yeah, Blade Runner, Pennywise.
Oh yeah, not just the one.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
also
yeah.
we did talk. I didn't talk about. You can have the floor first. The Boys ending season 5. Obviously, we're going to be reviewing that tomorrow. But The Boys is ending season 5.
That's perfect. You don't need to overextend it. I think that's great. And as we see here, all in the game saying that Eric Kripke never said they were going to go longer than 5 seasons for The Boys.
No,
Is
but he
that
did say
something
they might be
planned?
going longer than they planned, and he even said in their announcement, he said, "Oh, I got permission to announce this." So I think at some point maybe Amazon was like, "Hey, like, I don't know if we want to end this, but I think it's a good idea," because we've talked about this before. To me, dramas, the perfect endpoint is somewhere between 4 and 6 for most of them, and I feel we've talked about this before of, like, if we get to season 8 and Butcher and Homeland are still going at it, at some point it's going to lose its stakes and importance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think things are winding down, obviously, for those two characters, and I think that it's great to know, like, this season, it's as you say, the penultimate season. So I'm happy to kind of just get things get crazy, and I imagine now that season 5 is the finale, like, we're gonna get a banger cliffhanger ending to this season. It's gonna be crazy.
So,
probably,
yeah.
I'm so excited, and I might stay up for. We only got like an hour and 15 minutes till the season drops, so I might watch one episode tonight and then pile through the other 2 tomorrow. I'm assuming it's 3 episodes dropping.
It is. It's 3 episodes, yeah.
Yeah,
And they also said Gen V's going to keep going. They got other spin-offs, so I think that's smart to end the story of The Boys and Homelander, Butcher, and then continue on with some other superhero stuff in this world. Will people still tune in? That'll be up to them to try to get people staying. But yeah, I think I'm happy they're ending with 5, because I was starting to get that worry of, okay, how much longer can we go? And I think the show was great. I've rewatched the whole thing. I'm ready for it tonight, but I think there is still a point where you gotta go out on top. Try to.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So I think that's great. I'm super on board for it. What do we got here? Yeah, I just talked War of the Rohirrim. Hunt for Gollum. Fuck, I think get Gandalf back in there, as I already said. I just think that movie has me really, really intrigued. I know I was shitting on it a while ago, but I think if you get these old characters, I remember you played that clip of us talking about it, and I shat on the idea. But in retrospect, now after where we've been and things we've learned and just the people we've become, I just feel like this is a good time to get into a movie like this.
All in the game clarifies it. Will they ever do a movie based on this universe? What universe? Talking about the boys? Just clarify, then we'll come back to you there.
The GeekVerse universe.
Well, go. Yeah, there's a great Patreon episode where he got ChatGPT to write us a trilogy GeekVerse movies, and there were quite some spicy stuff in there. So
Terrifying when you think of Dylan's character.
yeah,
Very
Dildog,
terrifying.
biggest villain of all time.
Blade Runner 2099. You know, I haven't gone back and watched any of the Blade Runners after the one time only viewings I've done of them, and I don't know, maybe I should. I just haven't gotten around to
They're
it.
great.
What
What happened to Big Wumbo? You know, talk about Dildog. Like, where did Big Wumbo
he
go?
drops in every once in a while.
Did
I
he?
feel.
When was the last time you saw him? I feel like I haven't seen him in ages.
Once in a while.
Big Wumbo, if you're out there, you know, hope you're doing well.
Pop back in. Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise. Holy fuck. I love this idea.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about that. I think it's great. I think he should easily be playing this role. I can't imagine anyone else playing this character aside from Bill. So I think,
Not Tim Curry.
I mean, Tim Curry, yes, and that OG one for sure, but Bill's got the reins right now, and let's just let's keep running with him as Pennywise. Fuck. I'd love to see him just fucking over Derry back in the day. That'd be great.
Well, that's what the show is. These are about other. They showed like a quick teaser, and you could see there's other kids and stuff. So, unfortunately, I think all these kids have.
Teaser.
Well, no, it's like in a highlight. It's like in a HBO teaser, and it's not worth it, Taylor. Don't do this. It's like 3 seconds of footage, but you see like
Full
welcome to
teaser
the-
trailer, minute and a half. This is a
No.
bait.
You should bring it up. You should screen share. That's how you should end the cast.
Okay.
But no, it's just kids riding the bike. So unfortunately, all these kids, I guess, have to get fucking killed this go around because it is the prequel. Goldface says, I have to wait for the weekend because my lady works the next few days. I get it. We were just talking about Hitman.
We get it,
and-
yeah.
fair play. So we get it, Goldface. And All the Game says, yeah, The Boys. No, I don't think a movie. I think it's TV. I think The Boys is big, but I also don't think it's like the biggest. I think a video game could happen. I guess if you were to say, like, okay, I won't say never because they could do an Amazon movie, but if you ask me like a movie that's theatrically released, no, I don't think so. I think that mostly stays as series. But yeah, I could see like an Amazon original movie, but that's pretty easy, and maybe they want to do something a bit bigger. But Taylor, you see a Boys movie happening at any point?
No, I don't think that's in the cards. I think that this IP benefits being a show, and I think they can really explore a lot more stuff with it as a show than they can as a film.
All right, bring up this trailer. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Welcome
Let's
to
see if you
Derry.
guys- see if
It's
you guys
wow.
can
They're doing the clickbait like It Chapter 3. Like they're getting that. It's not called It Chapter 3. The show's called Welcome to Derry. But
This was put up 3 weeks ago.
oh, nice.
Can you guys hear it?
No, that's a clip from Halloween Ends.
Oh, it was. I was trying. I was like, this looks familiar.
Oh my god. Yeah, we can't hear it, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Oh, you got the balloon in there. Kirkland's worried. Lots of logos.
The music right now, I'm pretty sure, is from Insidious.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Look at the dairy shot.
The opening shot, that's of Derry. That's just the first movie, yeah. Foxstar Media. Taylor just subscribed to them, so. Fuck. This is also just scenes from the first movie. Still scenes from the first movie. Okay, from Stephen King's terrifying novel. Okay. Scenes
is
from the
this?
second movie. I think the
That's the
drawings.
second movie?
I think so, yeah. Okay. What are
Where's
we going to get
Bill?
here? There's, red balloon. The scene for the first movie. It's going to pop, and then Pennywise is going to run at you, right? Yeah, and then there he is. Then the bat. Is that it? Is that it? Are you fucking kidding me? That's the effort they put in this? You're making Kirkland stay up awake for this, you know? Oh man,
The
that
Venom
was
trailer.
lazy.
No, that's
Alien
anime
vs.
trailer.
Predator 3 trailer with Will Smith.
Okay,
Is that from
just
that
click on it?
fucking-
Click on it.
Is that from that Netflix movie he did with
Joel
what was it
Edgerton?
called?
Bright.
Yeah.
It looked like it might be. How we pause this? How we need to do this? How have we not done this for original and watched fake trailers together? We
should.
gotta. We gotta
Definitely
write
add
that
it to the
down.
list.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead. Nice thumbnail, by the way, for GeekVerse. So I like that.
Holy fuck. There we go.
So is this? What is this a scene from? Is that one of the AVP movies?
Oh, that's a B-rate movie.
I don't know what
I don't
that
recognize
is.
any of those
It's
people.
Alien. It's AVP 3, baby. When's Will Smith gonna pop? I can't wait. Is this Swamp
He had
Thing
some
the movie?
voiceovers.
Oh, did he? It's
Yeah.
like Swamp Thing that we reviewed a couple years ago.
That was Predator.
That was Topher
That's the
Grace.
Predator.
Oh, 20th Century Studios. Oh, they got the
Oh.
Predator logo. Looking
Where are the
good.
aliens, though?
Oh,
Foxstar Media.
Foxstar Taylor is subscribed to them. So, no, I think this is from that
Oh, there he is.
Gemini Man movie when he plays like a clone of
Independence Day.
himself.
Oh yeah.
Independence Day.
Oh, that was AVP one.
Okay. So it's Will Smith with the crew now. He's hunting them. Oh, there's the alien. Oh, yeah. Go back.
That
What was
space was awful.
The alien gets caught, and they just show this clip of Will Smith looking up, but like he's not like reacting. I'm not. That looks like an AI actually.
It does look AI.
I think
it
that's
absolutely
AI.
looks AI.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's so we got an AI Will Smith in this trailer reacting very nonchalantly to an alien caught, just kind of like, oh, man, no, some AVP stuff, right? And just lots of shots of streets and. Tay, how's that new Wi-Fi router working out for you? Looking like it's chugging along here.
Not happy.
Yeah. Oh,
What
that's
is
an AI shot
this?
right there.
Oh my God.
Apparently, Will Smith
Retribution.
loses because the whole world gets destroyed. So
Like if you want to do bad boy, if you make a successful Bad Boys movie, Will Smith, you can do Alien versus Predator 3.
it was a big hit. So I would,
Yeah.
sure, throw Will Smith in a Predator Alien movie. Let's do it. Couldn't be any worse than those other two, you know. Which cheap plug. And retrospective we're doing right now. So that's on Patreon, the first two episodes, and then they'll be dropping the public feed soon, but you get those right now ad-free early on the Phase 2 tier. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is, like I said, we said this last week, but we squeezed one more in. Probably the last main newscast for a while because we're going to have Acolyte, Boys, House of Dragon, and then SideQuest, and then any other random reviews, retro. So we'll probably be too busy for news other than the odd big story and do a cutout of that. But thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody in the chat. We had some good fun tonight. Thank you everybody keeping this lively. It's a good time. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Bye-bye.
Bye.